I don't want to be right.
What would Socrates say to that?
It tickles my face.
Okay.
Okay.
Goosies.
I don't have hair.
Oof.
You got Marcos.
That's not. No, that's not.
Wait.
Yeah,
That's true. You do got me. Get over here, Marcus. Let me look at you.
They don't want it.
Tobin and Leroy, ready to deploy. Had to hit it with a little journalism, but that was a decoy. Better have about me, boy. Okay, Leroy and Tobin, hold to the show, man. Steers on the stars with the show, and till then his half moon open. Sometimes go taste like a snowman. No proof, I'm a lie about a motor. No proof, like I always wanted him. I never hated him. I never traded him. And if I did, I never ever traded him. You know what is a star? Like another city, the driver's side fly. Gucci get large, so many more. 10 in the more, never a bar. 8, 10 in the more, 2 to the peak. Nothing to you, but it's something to me. Handsome as ever, and cute as can be. You can watch us on YouTube with view for free. Ay. This one time for the Twitch. This one time for the text. This one time for the phone line. Whole time wonder what they gonna do next.
You know, I just wish you guys would stop the quibbling.
Morning. Good morning. Happy Monday morning. It is your boy, Frog Boy, Marquito Tito, our God Savvy. What else do they call me, Dan? Sugar Boy Slim.
Marcos.
That's right. I don't know what that last one I said before, Marcos. I just felt like throwing that one out there. But we are live here on Tobin and Leroy. Tobin out, Leroy out. So it is Marcos and Dan filling things in. And we got JFig in the background. I know a lot of people are off today for multiple reasons. Martin Luther King Day, Inauguration Day, or you just hate Mondays. Just a case of hating Mondays. You know, that could be a reason why you're off today. But first things first, I want to thank you for choosing to listen and watch us. If you're watching us on YouTube, Twitch, that's Miami 560 WQAM. Today, we're going to give you the regular dose of silly sauce, even though our boy Tobin is out. Leroy is out as well. They'll be back at full action tomorrow. I, however, will be out. I'm heading to Baltimore. Dan, you ever been to Baltimore?
Yeah, of course I've been to Baltimore,
Of
man.
course. I mean, I didn't know. Of course you've been to Baltimore.
Camden Yards, I've been there. I went on
Whoa.
the riverfront, or
Whoa.
the bayfront, and they got great crab cakes. It's
All
the crab
right.
cake capital, maybe, of the world.
Okay.
Got some hoods in there too, man. You know,
Got
so
some
be careful as you drive around. You know, Baltimore.
I appreciate that. Thank you. The Wire, right? Was that The
Yeah.
Wire was from there?
You're in the
So-
DMV area. That's what they call it.
Ooh, That's I have heard that.
So
before.
drop some colloquialism in there and say, "Oh man, you know how it is in the DMV."
Yes, for sure. I'm
We
sure
got
that,
Richie. Holler at Richie. Richie's in the DMV right now.
Richie in the D.
One of our guys
he's
over
in
on
the V.
Twitch.
Is he not in the V part of the?
Ah, you go.
I mean, that's pretty
That's
good.
Virginia, yeah.
I don't know how close. How close are they really? Is it like West Palm, like Broward County, or is it like? Because I can't trust anything, you know, being in an area where like it takes 8 hours to get out of my state. I don't know what it feels like. But apparently, from what JFig's telling me in the chat, today is also another special day.
Mm-hmm.
Vlad's birthday.
Cousin Vladimir Louison birthday.
Vlad, happy birthday goes out to Vlad.
Took the day off.
He
Much,
deserves it.
yeah. I know. I was
He
kind of giving him a
deserves
hard time for taking a day off, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Is it so much to want my birthday off?" I go, you got me. Okay, take the day off, bro.
Okay.
So much love to Vlad. I owe him a
Yeah.
couple of beers. We're actually going to high end it. We're going to go
Whoa.
to Brickell one of these days.
Brickell?
Rosa Sky, a
Hey.
rooftop bar.
No. Dan, you've changed.
I'm paying.
Hey, listen, you've changed recently. I want you to know that, bro.
Thank you.
Your palate has grown.
Mm.
Back in New Orleans, I don't know if you're telling me rooftop, you know, little speakeasies that you're trying to go to now. Now all of a sudden, Dan, you're going to these high-end places where you need reservations. I can't keep up with you anymore.
I'm all over the place, man. I still hit my dive bars, Bob's your uncle on the rocks, but
Yeah.
also, you know, got to mix it up, man. You
That's
can't get
fair,
stuck
that's fair.
in a rut these
A
days.
couple other birthdays today. Go over a couple names. Tell me if you recognize any of these names. Stacy Dash.
No.
Wow, no, Clueless.
Who's Stacey Dash? Clueless?
Nah, I'll tell you what. I'll show you on break with Stacy Dash. JJ McCarthy, quarterback of the Vikings.
One possible quarterback.
Possible. And Blueface, rapper Blueface. You're a fan of Blueface? Tyler Herro. How about that?
Whoa.
Tyler Herro.
Tyler
Yes.
Herro. He had a good game last night too, man.
Yes, he
But
did.
he was
Yes,
not
he
the
did.
buzz at the game.
No.
You know what everybody's buzzing about?
KEL'EL WARE, Dan.
The big lineup.
Come
KEL'EL WARE, Bam
on.
Adebayo. Finally, Bam Adebayo moving to the 4 possibly.
All
KEL'EL WARE
time,
taking the 5.
baby.
That's why we drafted him. Let's go.
How long did that take? 40 games? We're 40
Halfway through the
games in?
season.
Come on
41
now.
games. Last night was the 41st of 82 games.
That's got to be just straight up stubbornness by Spo. That really has to be.
Everyone going crazy.
That really has to be stubbornness by Spo. We had an action-packed day yesterday, an action-packed weekend, of course. But I would like to call this a worst-case scenario weekend. You know why I call it worst-case scenario weekend?
Mm-hmm.
All the fun storylines are out. They're out. As of right now, I'm staring down the barrel of another Chiefs repeat because on Saturday, they brought us the Chiefs doing Chiefs things.
Yeah, of course.
Potentially some ref interference there. But at the end of the day, the Chiefs were going to win that game. They just were. There's nothing you can do about that. The biggest heartbreak of all on Saturday, the Lions, dude.
A lot of people had them as their Super Bowl favorites.
The Lions, dude. Man Campbell, the Cinderella run has come to an end.
Well, I mean, they won 14 games.
The Cinderella run.
15,
They couldn't have done anything better to put themselves in a better position, right?
15 games. They had a rookie quarterback they were going against.
Come on, dude.
A team that had only been in the playoffs forever. They hadn't won a playoff game since 06 until the week before.
Truly a big letdown. You know, I know they had a lot of injuries that they were overcoming, but it really seemed they just got outplayed, dude. They just got out. And I'll tell you what, it was very one of those things you blinked or you looked away for a second and you came back and there was a touchdown. And from one point, it was like maybe like a, 3-point game. And then it becomes a pick 6 for a touchdown. And then there's like a reverse for a touchdown. And there's like a screen pass for a touchdown and a long run for a touchdown. It was very uncharacteristic of what you associate this Detroit team with, but man, it was great football to watch. Just sad, definitely. But you called it, man. For the first time since 2006, the Commanders advance. That should be an interesting matchup with Philly. It's, of course, everyone would say typically if you were picking between this team and Philly, Philly's been rolling for quite some time. But this is a division matchup. All that goes out
right.
the window,
That's the thing. The Commanders aren't going to sneak up on the Eagles, though. Like they've kind of snuck up. Let's be honest, they've kind of snuck up on people all season long, and they kind of snuck up. You feel as though on the Detroit Lions. So this is a team that's very familiar with the Commanders. I've played them twice this year. They know what they're getting into. So does Jaden Daniels have more, rabbits to pull out of the hat? And we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see for sure. Good game, and then the Sunday slate also delivered. Another instance in which, all right, well, we kind of expected what to happen more or less with the Eagles and the Rams and Saquon Barkley, dude.
Yeah.
There's not a day that goes by that doesn't baffle me that the entire front office wasn't not only fired, but just completely blackballed from ever getting a job in the NFL again, because he has proven to be the biggest mistake in their, in their entire history in regards to letting that man go. What was it? 200 yards essentially with 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns. Both runs for touchdowns were over 60 yards. They were big in a big snowy game where you need a big running game. Yeah, it's pretty important.
Absolutely.
But man, did you see towards the end of the game, the Eagles kicker in that terrible snow was golden. Yeah, Saquon Barkley has that big run. They score a touchdown. You're like, oh, this game's over. He misses an extra point. Oh, it's 13. Rams come back, score a touchdown. Rams get the ball back. Driving down the field, I'm like, are they going to lose because of a missed extra point? If you're an Eagles fan, and maybe, 305-567-0560, let us know. Are you about to crap your pants thinking that the Rams are going to come there and beat you by an extra point that you missed?
Yeah, that is the elements this time of the year, man. The elements.
Ball was all over the place.
We saw snow games galore. It was a winter wonderland that we were witnessing, and it even got a little bit colder because it was. I don't know about you. You were actually working a lot this weekend as well, but it was like 85 degrees yesterday.
Oh,
it was hot.
It was beautiful.
Well, it was beautiful for sure. But I was told there was going to be Arctic winds. Damn it! And they didn't come until this morning. Apparently, this morning I woke up. It was like 59.
It's those fake headlines like freezing weather in Florida, but they don't say like in Miami. They say Florida.
Yeah.
So you're like Pensacola,
which is not. I refuse to. But that's a different story for a different time. You you know, Pensacola, you're Alabama, but it's
Oh.
fine. It's fine. We'll talk about that another time, Dan. Jeez. Yeah, so we saw Philly run all over the Rams, and then the game I felt like everybody was waiting for. Bills Ravens. How much of that were you able to catch, sir?
No, I caught it. Yeah, caught most part of it.
So I don't know about you, but being from South Florida, I'm sick and tired of the damn Bills. This was supposed to be the year that they were going to be vulnerable, and Josh Allen has never looked better, and the team has never looked better, which is scary to say, you know, because this, like I said, this was the year that the Dolphins were going to overtake them, and it seems like that gap has grown somehow. And it doesn't look to be shrinking anytime soon. But I think you have to put a lot of it on Baltimore's mistakes more than you would Buffalo's performance. Lamar Jackson, another fumble.
Tried to do too much, man. Mishandled. Well, didn't really mishandle the snap. It was a high snap.
Yeah.
He thought he had it under control, and then obviously didn't have it under control.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, another game in which the elements did come into play for sure, but you know, it wasn't anything that was unplayable. You know, we've seen worse conditions for sure, and it's just another game, unfortunately, where small things are going to come back. That 2-point conversion at the end that Andrews drops is what we're all going to remember. But there are other key drops that
fumble too.
You know, there's other key moments prior to that definitely are worth mentioning. And now, you know, this is a strike at legacy. Everyone's always like, can you win the big one? Can you win the big one? Lamar Jackson, the best regular season player of all time. And he was really heated after the game. We'll probably hear from him coming up in the show. A couple quotes from him, the coach, in regards to how they're going to be dealing with this. One thing I did do, I did catch myself doing as I watched all of these teams that are victorious, was kind of like play the comparison game of like, how does my quarterback stack up against that guy? And it kind of hurt my feelings a lot. Like, just thinking in general, how does my team? I'm seeing Saquon run. And yeah, Devon Achane, you know, can definitely break off in some speed, but that was between the tackles. You know, there's times where it's between getting 1 yard that's going to be more valuable than, you know, whatever potential long run we've been blessed to have. But we'll talk about that and much more. And when we come back, we got 15 minutes of heat. Not only did we get the appearance of the newest, biggest thing in town with KEL'EL WARE and Bam Adebayo. Got to update our Jimmy Butler timeline, dude. We got to update our Jimmy Butler timeline. We'll grade his performance. We'll talk about what he said after the game and much more on the Tobin and Leroy Show. 15 minutes of heat here on Tobin and Leroy. It's going to be hard to just spend 15 minutes of heat on what has been going on around these Miami Heatles. Let us start with the return of Jimmy Butler. This past Friday, everyone was discussing, the big thing that was on the docket essentially was the Jimmy Butler meeting with the owner, the big man himself, Mickey Harrison. And not a lot came out of that, if I'm not mistaken. Dan, did you hear anything that I maybe have missed? But I heard nothing from the meeting itself.
No, nothing from the meeting itself. What I did take from it is, number one, basically reiterating he does not want to be here anymore, Jimmy Butler. And also he's been told to say no comment. I don't know if that was from that meeting or his manager said, you know what, no comment. And also opening your big mouth could cost you money because it could be seen as, what do you call it? Behavior detrimental to the team.
Yes, of course.
So I think in the meeting there was a come to the middle ground of just say no comment about anything that involves this whole situation.
Yeah, for sure.
But the truth will come out, he said. The truth will come out.
That was the interesting comment that kind of stuck with Heat fans. I believe this is with Will Manso. He said,
you think Jimmy wants everybody to know the whole truth? Because you and I work behind the scenes, and there's a whole lot of truth from both sides that could be shared that may make both sides look a little differently than people are perceiving them.
See, my thing is, like, when you really think about it, though, there's really like nothing else that I feel can come out that would surprise me. There's nothing else that you can tell me that would be like, I can't believe the Heat did that, or I can't believe Jimmy Butler did that. There's nothing really that I think can potentially come out. But I think that's something that you say when, like, I don't know, you kind of are like losing an argument and you're just like, okay, we'll see. Okay, we'll see. You really got nothing else left. But nonetheless, look, yeah, I'm glad it kind of seems like we're finding this middle ground, this weird I used to have a room in my house that my mother referred to as this, in which it's like once you moved out of your room, right, as an adult, and you left the house, when you came back, you didn't go back to your room.
No,
you went to the garage, right? You converted the garage into something, or you're sleeping. Hopefully you don't go back. But if you have to go back, you don't go back to your room. You go to this, like, what's that place before hell?
Purgatory.
Purgatory. That's the word that she called it.
Your room has been converted into a den or a man cave.
You will never be allowed to be comfortable here again. That is it. Those days are done.
Show you.
So this purgatory essentially is what the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler find themselves in. They're not in the honeymoon phase, and they're not in the we can look past it to think about whatever has gone on before. So it kind of was weird. What the hell was going to happen? And finally, the word comes out. Not only is Jimmy Butler available, but he will be in the starting lineup. And that was against the Denver Nuggets, a team that, needless to say, has had Miami's number. I heard a crazy stat that I don't even want to confirm, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the last time the Miami Heat won in Denver may have been 2018. And they, including the finals, most recently, I believe they're like 2-15 in their last couple matchups. So never a good outing when we go against the Nuggies. But needless to say, the Miami Heat felt this was the right time to get Jimmy Butler back in the starting lineup. And I know you produced yesterday's game, but did you have a chance to catch the Jimmy Butler debut against the Nuggets?
Yeah, absolutely, man. 33 minutes, 18 points.
It wasn't like, hey, let's kind of see if he can maybe work his way back. They're like, here's 33 minutes first day. We need it, buddy. Like you said, 18 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He kind of, I would say he wasn't dogging it. He wasn't dogging it, but I know he also wasn't, putting on like a Jimmy Butler playoff Jimmy, but which I don't expect. And I'd struggled to find that from him prior to this entire saga. Anyway, it would kind of be like whatever the hell he felt like it.
I kind of feel like Jimmy Butler, it's not that he's not giving his all or his 100%. He's just focusing his energies in different areas. He's more of a facilitator now. He's more of a perimeter, stand on the perimeter type of guy. He's more of a set a pick type of guy. He's not the take over the game, score a bunch of points, get to the free throw line type of guy. So the energy and the effort is there. It's just not the way Jimmy usually expends that energy and effort. So you'll get a lot more picks and assists, and standing around spacing would be another thing right there, because Tyler Herro's got to get his points, and KEL'EL WARE now maybe getting his points.
So that was Denver. We kind of like got drubbed there. It was Friday's game. The entire game we were down by 10. We ended up losing by 20. It was 133-113. We move on. A lot of people are focused on football, and then we get to yesterday's game. It was a 3 p.m. tip-off, and we got what the hell Heat fans have been clamoring for, have been literally begging for since the man was drafted. Needless to say, if you've been watching the Heat, this hasn't been Bam Adebayo's best season.
What?
One of the remedies that Heat fans have been calling for has been to put, I don't know, maybe the 7-foot giant right next to Bam Adebayo and allow him the opportunity to potentially roam, do other things than have to be this Shaquille O'Neal dominant, Zdrunas Ilgauskas kind of like figure. That's not who Bam is. It seems simple enough to us, peasants in regards to basketball knowledge, but for some reason, Erik Spoelstra, who knows better, obviously has more knowledge about basketball in his pinky fingernail than I do in my entire brain. Other than that one time I carried the lava to that 1 point. Just 1 point. That's all I carried them to. But seeing as he's been so stubborn all season, for a while it made Heat fans think maybe they knew something we didn't. Maybe KEL'EL WARE wasn't who we thought he was. Maybe he wasn't the presence that the Miami Heat needed. But in every single minute that he had played throughout the season, the potential was there every single time. Whether he's shooting a three-pointer, he's getting a rebound of some sort, he's blocking a shot, he's dunking over someone, he's doing something creative to find a way to get the ball in the basket. And everyone is watching like, how the hell can this guy not help us? What the hell is going on? Dan?
This is the thing, and Erik Spoelstra and even the guys did talk about this last night, is that this has been in the works for a while. They've been fine-tuning it. They have been practicing it. They have been working on it. We live in this society, Marcos, where it's the Jaden Daniels society. I want it, and I want it now. You need to be all pro, and you need to lead us deep into the playoffs, and you need to be great now. KEL'EL WARE is a first-round draft pick and a rookie at that. To expect him to come in right away and have chemistry with Bam Adebayo and the whole team and to be a well-polished, great NBA player, that's asking a lot. So I think Erik Spoelstra realized a lot of that, and he's been in behind the scenes and been fine-tuning this thing, and it maybe took 41 games to get it out there. And, of course, you see it yesterday and you go, we've been sitting on this the whole time. Look what our season would be. No, maybe this was the right time that it was finally ready, and that got to the point that you saw last night. So I think we need to learn a little bit more patience. And just because we call for something and it quote unquote works right away, there's a lot more that probably went into it. And like you heard from Tyler Herro, you heard from Bam Adebayo, you heard from Erik Spoelstra, we have been working on this for a while now. It's not something new to us. It's just something new to you. I think, it's like making, let's say, beef Wellington. Got to put it in the oven for a little while. I think now it's finally well cooked and it's out there, and we'll go forward. Spurs aren't playing very well right now. That's another thing that we can't overlook.
Yeah, for sure. And the length of Wemby is obviously gonna lead for us to put the tallest possible lineup we could out.
But
there.
Notice they didn't do it against the Denver Nuggets, where they had the 7-footer that's an MVP. They did it against Wemby, who's a 7'4" young player with length. And you wonder the timing. Why not break it out against Denver? Why not break out the tall lineup? I can tell you why. Because it's a little different personnel and a little different of a team than the San Antonio Spurs.
I gotta see it, Dan. I gotta see it now. Now I'm convinced. Everything that you said was probably completely right. But that's not how I'm interpreting it.
Okay,
I'm
break
gonna
it down.
completely-
As a Heat fan, what are you interpreting?
That logic that you just spit my way was great. It was probably the right answer. I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna throw it out the window, man. I don't give a flying bleep about that because all I saw yesterday was validation of put Bam at the 4, get a tall guy in there, and let's do this.
So how many
thing,
points did
dude.
Bam have since this new lineup
Now,
has been
okay, now,
introduced?
this is something that I, as Bam's biggest hater this year,
Well, go ahead.
I even have been, critical of Bam Adebayo. I know yesterday was not a great game for Bam Adebayo offensively, but that's just because everybody else was scoring. He didn't need to score, baby.
Okay. Yeah.
But I did feel like, nonetheless, after watching him struggle and put up those kinds of numbers all season against other opponents, I was finally able to see him do it, but like with a smile on his face. Like that was a part of the plan, Every time I see him and he potentially goes 0 for 2 from 3, 6 points, 11 rebounds, I'm like, this is horrible because I know he was striving for more. When I see him do it in a performance like yesterday, that tells me obviously Duncan Robinson had a great game. Jovic had a great game. Jaime Jaquez had a great game. Tyler Herro was consistent.
Terry Rozier even had a big game.
Come on,
in the 20s.
Terry, dude.
Yeah.
That has been something that we've needed. So it kind of tells me that, okay, yes, of course he's struggling, and it's still a problem that he's struggling.
Oh.
But the mistake of whatever game he's attempting to adjust to is kind of like superseded by the success of KEL'EL WARE. And I feel like if we were to put them in the same position, eventually Bam's going to figure it out. And with him having less pressure on him, because when they were on the floor together, they weren't just good defensively. They were elite defensively. And Bam was able to do things that he's normally not able to do. Normally, he's the guy in front of, the person driving, and he doesn't have the opportunity to have those come from behind blocks. But with KEL'EL WARE taking that position, it kind of frees him up to be a better defender. And I know he had a horrible offensive game yesterday, but I'm confident that if he is alleviated of his duties defensively, that is going to lead to a better offensive Bam. But then again, I could be completely wrong because this team has been 500 for damn near 3 seasons.
3 seasons, yeah.
So like at this point, I'm taking a page out of Tobin's book and being wild heat coyote and hoping for the best. But yesterday looked good, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you can't complain about especially the third quarter, 46 points, and you're hoping it's the big lineup that kind of gets the guys spread out a little bit more. KEL'EL WARE can play inside and outside. Bam can now roam around free. It maybe opens up some 3-pointers when you have some big guys in the middle because they really, 46 points in 1 quarter for the Heat. Yeah, that's something right there.
When we come back, we're going to hear from a few of yesterday's key performers. Got a little bit more from yesterday's game, and we'll talk a little bit more about what the NFL is looking like now as we approach conference championship weekend. We got that and much more on the Tobin and Leroy Show. This is beautiful, Dan. What song is this?
4 Non-Blondes. What's up?
4 Non-Blondes?
Linda Perry.
Not even sure what you're saying at this point. I'm really not even sure what you're saying, but God, this is beautiful. You know what? I recognize her
What's
voice.
going
What's
on?
going
And I
on?
said, hey.
Is this the song?
Yeah.
Oh, this is. You know what? I knew. See, I know hits. That's one thing I do know. It's hits.
That's a hit.
That's a hit, baby. Yesterday was a hit for the Miami Heat.
Mm-hmm.
It was a hit by. Dan, does France have a king?
No, not anymore. Not since Napoleon died.
All right. Well, Napoleon Dynamite was a good movie. Didn't know
It was a good movie.
If they did have a king, I assume it'd be Victor Wembanyama because he's the tallest person. Because they'd probably look around and be like, "Who's the tallest? This guy. He's king now."
Big timer.
Now, if he's king, yesterday he got his crown snatched.
Oh yeah,
Duncan Robinson, dude, Duncyard Dog, the only man that I know who has Victor Wembanyama's number, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time these guys match up,
He's a Spurs killer.
he does something on Victor Wembanyama to make him look absolutely foolish. And he had an amazing game yesterday. It was a game we haven't seen much of Duncan. You know, we've had a great offensive output, especially from the 3-point line from Tyler Herro this season, but we haven't seen much of dunks. And yesterday, I don't want to say he turned back the clock because he's still relatively young, but it was a vintage Duncan Robinson performance. But I think the story on everybody's mind waking up was how amazing it was to see Bam Adebayo and KEL'EL WARE play some significant minutes together and to have the 7-foot rookie shine the way that he did. After the game, Spo finally had to answer for his crimes, dude. His crimes of stubbornness. He should listen to me. Dan, I led the lava to a point. You didn't see the margins we were against. It was a rough matchup, and I fought through and through. I know basketball, dude. And even if I didn't, I know big guy equals big things. Pause. Let's listen to Spo yesterday after the game as he spoke on Bam and KEL'EL WARE playing together.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely the initial spark to the game. They just were tremendous defensively. That kind of ignited the energy, for the group, and then we were able to get some in transition, and then, our offense obviously started flowing from there. This old head coach has been trying to get the team to connect the dots. Usually when we defend and we play with that energy, the basket gets bigger for us. Our offense hasn't been where we've wanted it to be all year long. But it has been in the games that we've been able to defend for the most part. I know a lot of teams say that, but they were dynamic. This is something that we've been slowly starting to work on. I know that KEL'EL, generates a lot of opinions, out there. Let us do our job.
Wow.
Let him do what he's been doing. The initial thing was to develop him, get him comfortable in a role where he could really impact the game. And the second unit has been coming along. It's been one of our bright spots, the last several weeks, and he's really been getting comfortable in that role. And what he's done with his play and his ability to impact the game is earn more. And that's what you're seeing. That's what you want all players, to do. Earn more, make us watch you, make us have to play you, make us have to think about not playing you, make us continue to figure out other things and just keep you on the court. And that's what he's doing right now.
Yeah, dude, that was defensive. He knows everyone's going to be like, what the hell were we waiting for? And he knows that everyone's going to be yelling at him, but he kept a cool face on. Just like you said, Dan, this was a part of their plan.
He said, let us do our job.
Let us do our job. And you know what? How dare you doubt Spo, Dan? I heard you on the commercial break. How dare you doubt Spo? Never doubted him.
That's the ultimate leave me alone.
Yeah.
Let us do our job.
Let us do our job.
You don't want me coming in and telling you how to do your job. Don't tell me how to do mine.
Fair. That is a fair.
That's a good
assessment.
way to get people off you real quick. But yep, got to answer.
Yeah. I mean, he mentioned that there was the spark that got the team going defensively. It looked amazing. It looked amazing for so many reasons. Here's another one from Spo on leaving Bam and Ware in together for so long.
Like, it's working. So, we need some obvious decisions right now. There's a lot of complex decisions, that we're trying to make. If there's something that's obvious, and it's working like in a big way, let's do it. That's, when I say make us have to play you, that's what that lineup did. Couldn't go away from it, in this game.
On the lineup, it seemed like Dunk was a pretty big beneficiary of the group. He came out a pin down from KEL'EL, come off the handoff from Bam. It just feels like he just has space to operate. What do you like about kind of the shooting you could see from Dunk?
It's really important if we're going to do that, to be able to have him and Tyler just running around and creating some overreactions. Bam and KEL'EL, have such a willingness to be screeners. And, KEL'EL's really worked on the details of his screening, not only pick and rolls, but catch and shoots, which was unique to us. It's gotten a lot better in the last few weeks. And so they both have those kind of habits where you can still find your spacing by running those guys off screens. Tyler also was a beneficiary of one with Bam on a pin down.
Look, so he's not only helping Bam, he's also helping the guards out. But he did say something interesting at the end of that first question that kind of leads me to think, or like, I can't necessarily trust that Spo's just gonna have KEL'EL Ware in the starting lineup, no matter how well it looked, no matter how much I want it to be the truth. He did say that was a lineup you couldn't go away from this game.
Mm-hmm.
This game.
Very specific about that.
Very, very specific about that, Dan. Let's get one from KEL'EL Ware here before we get out of here. That is the man everyone wants to hear from. Yesterday, after the game, we had an opportunity to hear from the 7-footer. This is KEL'EL Ware on his excitement on getting to play next to Bam.
It was exciting. Me and Bam, been wanting to happen. And, just for it to happen, we have to, make the best out of it for the first time. So, we can show people what it looked like a little bit.
I love this, Dan. I love this.
He and Bam both wanted it. It's mutual.
Come on. And then, I know Jimmy's not necessarily 100% checked in, but just seeing them together was just like, whoa.
Makes you forget about Jimmy?
It just kind of made me forget that, like, there was drama. It made me forget that there was drama.
For at least a little while.
I was just like, look at them just playing basketball.
Yeah,
look
just
at us.
hooping.
Who would have known? Look at us.
Just hooping.
A week ago, everyone was at each other's throat. Now look at us. We're just celebrating. It's kind of like when there's tension in the marriage, and then your baby does something cute. And you're just like, look at us,
Why are we fighting? Let's never fight again. Let's never fight again.
Let's just be just one big family. Let's just be one big family again. Can we do that, Dan? Is it too late to do that?
And keep those good vibes going because the Blazers are coming in town and they're not the best team in the world.
And we hate the Blazers. But I'll tell you what, a loss to the Blazers will send this thing overboard.
As good as this marriage is right now. You lose the Blazers.
Don't do this.
We're having a good week.
All right, we got more on the Tobin and Leroy show. It is Dan holding things down. On the board, it is Frog Boy, sitting down in Tobin's seat, and it smells. JFig is holding things down in the background. She will be around a little bit later. Maybe we'll play some games, Dan. Maybe we'll shake things up in the next hour. We got some more football to discuss. Conference championship weekend, Miami Hurricanes, and I believe there's like a national championship game happening or something like that. We'll talk about that and much more on the Tobin and Leroy show.
Tua.
It's our Tua. It's our Tua. It's our Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Tagovailoa. Not
Tua Tagovailoa.
A for effort. Dolphins quarterback.
Tua.
It's our Tua. It's our Tua.
Tua.
Tua, Tua, Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Chris Sims can go to hell. Tua Tagovailoa. Dolphins quarterback.
Daddy loves you guys. Our Tua with Tobin and Leroy. Check the history of
To the program, ladies and gentlemen. Tobin and Leroy out today. So it is Dan Day and Marquito Tito holding things down. Marquito Tito from Puerto Rico. Dan, have you heard the Bad Bunny album?
Come on, man.
Come on, baby.
Lost count how many times I've listened to it. I've played it. An instant classic. And if you're not into Bad Bunny, or if you're not into reggaeton, or if you even know the Spanish language, still listen to the album. You will love it.
That is right. What's funny is, I'm not sure if you heard, he had a residency thing he's doing in Puerto Rico. Right?
Yeah, I know about that.
So the opportunity to get tickets, you had to like register, and then they'll send you maybe if you want, we'll give you these days, whatever the case may be. I have a family member, my Puerto Rican family, that all live in Orlando. They wanted to go to Puerto Rico to watch the concert together and celebrate a family member's bachelor and bachelorette party, kind of like a 2-in-1 kind of vibe. So they had all of my cousins go ahead and sign up.
Join the lottery.
Exactly, to see if potentially we can get this done. The only cousin that had an opportunity to win was my brother, who has 4 kids of his own and a wife. You can only get 6 tickets. So he purchased all 6 tickets for his family and is now the only person going. That is, no one else won, dude. No one else won.
It's an interesting residency. So it's 2 months.
Yeah.
I think it's
only Puerto Rican residents.
Right. So it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Friday for May and June. But May, you have to be a Puerto Rican resident to get tickets. They're not. And then the month of June, it's open to the whole world.
Yeah, for sure.
So you're kind of limited if you're not a Puerto Rican resident.
Correct. And then, he even asked you what's my most recent album when you went to register. So you can't be a fake fan.
So they even ask questions?
Yeah, they didn't go through a quiz. They just were like, well, what's the name of the album then? Do you want to see you should know the album, the most recent album. But long story short, they're making it pretty difficult, but I understand why he's doing it. I appreciate why he's doing it, and God bless him. I've seen him 3 times if I get a chance to see him.
Marcos, with all the shows that he's doing the residency, 2 months every single weekend, 3 days, on the weekend, tickets are probably cheap, right?
They actually they actually are. They're actually quite affordable. Which is surprising. A lot of times the tickets like this, sometimes you get them on the third party, in which they're reselling and stuff like that. But he's actually making them pretty affordable. My brother bought tickets for, I think, $80 each.
No, that's not bad. No, when he was at the Casella Center last time,
oh my God,
just sitting at the very top was almost $200.
No, for sure. And then you get it on the resale, you're spending $1,000. None of that over here. $250 is the most expensive ticket and get you right front row.
Oh man, he's doing it for Puerto Rico.
He's doing it for Puerto Rico, and everyone hates me because I don't speak Spanish well enough. I would say well enough. To a person who doesn't speak Spanish, I speak Spanish. To a person who speaks Spanish, they're kind of like, sir, I know, and you,
different crowds.
But nonetheless, enough of Bad Bunny. Let's go ahead and get to the bad Buffalo Bills, as they were able to defeat Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens yesterday in some NFL playoff action. We also saw the Eagles get past the Rams. The Detroit Lions, unfortunately, weren't able to get past the Commanders. Upsetting for sure, upsetting. But the Kansas City Chiefs easily marched their way past the Texans with the help of the refs. But now they would have won anyway.
Yeah.
So Dan, of all the games we saw this weekend, is there any outstanding favorite in your eyes to advance to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I've been saying it all along before the playoffs even started. I think it's going to be the Eagles and the Chiefs for the simple fact that the Eagles got Saquon Barkley in that run game. Now, I know Jalen Hurts is a little quote unquote hurt, but I just feel as though, and, you know, I got to give credit to former Dolphins defensive coordinator Vic Fangio. He's got that defense playing great. Kansas City, they just know how to win. It's just one of those things. You got, and they have everybody fooled. The narrative they tell you is so cool because people believe it. It's supposed to be Patrick Holmes, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid. They're just so smart and so much better than everybody. The real thing about Kansas City is they're a really good defense.
Chris Jones.
That's where they get you. And then they fill in the gaps and they stay close in the game. They fill in the gaps with Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. Andy Reid. And it's a formula that works. Great defense and great players making great plays when they need to. Yeah. Kansas City, Eagles. I got those two. The Bills, I like what they're doing, but I just, you know, until Josh Allen can beat Patrick Mahomes in the postseason, you got to ride with that.
Yeah, and you give no faith to the Commanders, is what you're saying. Because I think you mentioned earlier, which you brought up a good point, that they're not going to sneak up on the Eagles like they sneak up on everybody else.
Yeah, they've snuck up. I mean, and you could say, how can you sneak up when you have double-digit wins? You still think Jaden Daniels a rookie, and this team hasn't been bad for so long.
Yeah.
But now the Eagles, number one, it's the NFC Championship game. But number two, they're very familiar with them. So they're not going to be taken very lightly, and they're going to be familiar with them. I don't know, but maybe Jaden Daniels has that magic. Maybe. We'll see.
Thus far, he has, but it has been quite some time since a rookie has made it to the actual Super Bowl. Dan, do you remember the last time a rookie, I'm going to say made it to the Super Bowl. I won't ask you won. Made it to the Super Bowl.
Ooh, I want to say Dan Marino was the second year that he went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The rookie that made it to the Super Bowl, you got me on that one.
Well, I don't either, Dan. No. Well, okay. So apparently there's only been 5 rookies to reach the championship game. That is Sean King from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, wow. Kool-Aid guy.
Yeah. Ben Roethlisberger, remember that one? That was 2004. That was probably the most recent one, if I'm not mistaken. There's no way he was a rookie. Flacco,
Joe
2008
to make it to a championship game.
Let's see,
NFC championship or AFC championship game.
Yeah, you know what? I guess so. I just didn't realize that he was a rookie in that. Now I'm doubting everything that I'm seeing now. Don't listen. Hey guys, you know what? Spoiler alert. Don't listen to your boy. Mark Sanchez though, New York Jets in 2009. And then Brock Purdy, 2022. Damn, we're like, how long ago was that? We can't remember when was the last time that happened.
None of those guys got into a Super Bowl though, did they?
Did Purdy make it?
No, he got hurt. Remember, he was the third string quarterback. He got hurt, and then the guy behind him got hurt, and then they went to like their sixth string quarterback and lost to the Eagles actually in that game.
Okay, so then only 5 rookie QBs have made a conference championship game, not the Super Bowl championship game.
That's a lot, man.
Jeez. Get your facts straight, Dan.
I'm sorry, man.
Before you start to present an idea on this
I apologize.
You know, we're really about our facts over here. That's what we really do. No rookie quarterback has ever started a Super Bowl, let alone won. That is a tweet yesterday.
That would be a tough one, man. If Jaden Daniels could do it, I'd be happy for him, man. Because I got love for the LSU guy, and I like that the story of the Washington Commanders, how they were a total just clown show. Absolutely terrible. Sure. You get the right quarterback, and lo and behold, you're a Super Bowl contender.
And did they kind of like gut out the ownership group as
well?
They
did. They
like
cleaned
Magic
up a little house. Yeah.
You know what's interesting though? They got to get rid of that that Sean Taylor.
Oh yeah.
Stupid silhouette thing. We need a better statue, dude. I know a statue guy. Don't worry.
Oh.
Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Is he in Chicago?
Don't worry. It's a different one than the one with the Dwayne Wade.
Although that, you know what's so crazy about that Dwayne Wade, with all the people that have gone crazy about it, I see more pictures on social media of people taking pictures with it. So maybe in its awkwardness, it has become famous. You know, if it was just a normal statue where you're like, oh, it's Dwayne Wade, you might be like, oh, but now like it's like, oh, we got to go see it, what it looks like in person, because it's kind of, I guess, maybe not grown on us, but it's grown into something more than just a statue.
It's gained notoriety. It's notorious.
Yeah,
it is notorious now.
There's no such thing as bad publicity. It's all good publicity.
I mean, but you know how people are, cynics. Like it's the bad stories that travel. It's not necessarily like the good one. Everyone's like, look at this super good statue that someone made, and they're like, whatever, dude. Do you see that one of Ronaldo where he looks ridiculous? You know, that's what that's the world we live in.
I walk by beautiful statues a lot of the time, and okay, well, no, whatever, nice. But you see something awkward or weird, you're like, oh, look at this. I want to see that. It sticks out in your mind.
You ever walk by one of those people who are pretending to be statues?
Yeah, freaks me out.
Like that?
That freaks me out. Like New York City.
Yeah, like they spray paint themselves. Who do you think would win in a battle, them or mimes? Who's like more devoted to their craft? Mimes or the people who dress up?
I think you're talking about a fist fight.
No one's fighting. We're having a mime off day.
I would go mimes just because there's so much more element to their game. They have to move, they have to have invisible walls. If you can just really stand still, although that's a great skill, you're really just kind of mastering that one skill. You're maybe staying in your lane, while mimes seem to be kind of all over the place if they can master their craft.
That's true. And you know, mime school, I believe, exists. I feel like
I'm
that's
sure
a thing that exists.
I think there's like a big time like international mime school. Like I might be in France or something that like it's not easy to get in. And
yeah, but where's the job opportunities in that? What are we doing? Like
you have $10,000 worth of mime debt. Now go out in the streets and try to earn it back.
That's as much as you'd make in an entire career of being a mime. I never know. That is very strange. That is very strange indeed. Don't know how we got down that rabbit hole. That's the kind of things you're gonna find here on the Tobin and Leroy show, especially when the gang is out. Now, I pose a question to you, to those who may be listening or watching on YouTube. If you feel a hankering for getting the takeout, I have a question I'm posing to you, Dan. After watching these four teams advance, we now have Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels, and who am I missing here?
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. Of these four quarterbacks who are now essentially, the final four left, how do you think Tua compares to these QBs? If you want to go ahead and send us in your takes, you can comment on our live stream on YouTube and Twitch, Miami 560 QAM. If you want to call us, it's 567-0560.
Yeah.
305-567-0560. You can call us, get your takes in, want to talk Miami Dolphins, or you want to give a take about any of these four quarterbacks that have now advanced conference championships. How do you think Tua compares to these quarterbacks? We got that and much more on the Tobin and Leroy show. Oh, snap. And a little Jaquan. Wonder what Jaquan's doing right now.
I have no clue.
I know he's probably actually collecting a royalty check because of Shabuzi. So he's probably getting some money. He's probably happiest for Shabuzi's career, if I'm being honest. Welcome back to the Tobin and Leroy show. We've talked some Miami Heat in the last hour. We talked some playoff football. And before we took it to break, I posed a question based off of the last 4 quarterbacks that are in the NFL playoffs at the moment. How do you think Tua compares to these QBs? The phone lines just melted, just completely went off the charts. And we're going to go ahead and head over to the phone lines right now. We have Hunter in Orlando. Hunter.
Hello, how's it going?
Excellent, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Now, in your opinion, how does Tua measure up to these quarterbacks that are left? Do you think he's the answer still?
Oh, man, I've been a Tua supporter since day one, but after this season, going down week 2, watching Jaden Daniels, man, I'm out on Tua. I mean, you look at these final 4 quarterbacks, they all have like one thing in common, and they can extend plays, and you know, they can run the ball. Josh Allen yesterday had 122 passing yards, but he was able to, you know, just win the game by running the touch push. Like we can't even get to it to do that. We can't get a 2nd and 1, 3rd and 1. All these guys now, you know, they could just dive or, you know, do a read option to get that first down. And I don't know. I don't see it anymore too. It's sad to say.
Hunter, you sound very sad. I'm not gonna lie to you, Hunter. You're making excellent points. I'm not gonna lie to you. You are making excellent points, and I appreciate you calling, Hunter. It really is unfortunate to look at other quarterbacks such as Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels, even the ones that got eliminated, Lamar Jackson, CJ Stroud. And I was a guy last offseason that preached mobility and how mobile I wanted my quarterback to be. But it wasn't necessarily that I wanted Tua to turn into Lamar Jackson or Jaden Daniels or CJ Stroud or any of these people that are left. I wanted him to be able to extend plays. Unfortunately, that resulted in what we saw this year in regards to him being out with a hip injury at the end and the concussion earlier on. So it just doesn't seem like it's something that this quarterback is capable of doing. Whether or not he is still remain to be seen, but kind of just seems like it ain't going to happen with this guy in regards to the whole mobility thing, which is why I had said, hey, fine, let's not pay him until, you know, the end of the season. If he's able to make it through the whole season, you know what? We're going to have to make him the highest paid quarterback in football if he makes it through the entire season. If he doesn't, then we have some wiggle room. Had we gone that route, then of course we'd be looking at, well, you missed this amount of games. He'd probably be somewhere around where he is right now anyway, if we decided we wanted to re-sign him.
The good question is, if we made him play out this last year, would he have played it safer like he did the previous year?
Correct.
And not try to get hurt and try to stay in the pocket and throw passes. That's the interesting part. Is it like, oh, now you have a laissez-faire attitude because you've already gotten paid? Or is it because that's really the way you play? It'd be interesting to see how he would have played. We'll never know, but how he would have played this season if he wouldn't have gotten that contract extension.
That is so true. You know, the Munyon comes in, you play a little bit different. Sometimes you play a little bit differently when you're expecting it to come in and it hasn't. But once you've already gotten it, maybe you're a little bit more careless.
Right. Like, you know, if I'm applying for this job and, you know, I'm going to probably go to bed early, get my affairs straight, come in early, drink some coffee, get focused, kind of go through everything in my mind. If I already got the job and I'm kind of used to it, I might go out, party, sleep in a little bit, roll in a little bit later than usual, not be as prepared, but I'm getting paid anyway. So, you know, not going to live my life too. So I think maybe you might have seen a different Tua this year and maybe a better Tua this year if you didn't pay him extend him in the offseason.
And if he does remain on the field, you know, overall, that's a win for all parties involved. You know, it's less Skylar Thompson games, and that's always That's what we want.
I do want to ask you this, Marcos, and you bring up a good point. We appreciate Hunter and Orlando calling in. Let's do the game. Let's see. Who would you rather have as your quarterback? Now, first of all, let's go Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, okay.
Patrick Mahomes versus the world. I mean,
for sure.
I'll take Patrick Mahomes over anybody.
Damn, he's good.
Yeah. So now you go to, let's see, Josh Allen.
I'd take Josh Allen over Tua for sure. I think everyone would.
Well, look at the record against Tua. Look at the record against the Dolphins. Probably going to be MVP this year.
For sure.
So you got to go Josh Allen.
And there's a thing. This is something that, like, okay, all great quarterbacks have a thing. You know, the thing that Josh Allen has is mobility and a rocket arm. The thing that Patrick Mahomes has is the innate ability to win, improvise, and just be good at everything. You know, let's just be honest in that sense. He also has a rocket arm, which is one of the criticisms of our quarterback as well. So we got those two. Let's go to the third option now.
Jaden Daniels.
It's interesting that you rate him the third option.
Oh,
but
I definitely do.
I can completely understand why. His thing is mobility, and again, the ability to find a way to win. That's something that he's done in his professional career. Not even talking about what he's handled at LSU and prior to that, but
Arizona State.
His professional career has had, 3 or 4 come from behind victories, and he's doing things that rookies haven't even CJ Stroud during his rookie season. Everybody was amazed that he was able to carry the Texans to the playoffs. Now, you look at Jaden Daniels, not only is he able to make the playoffs, he's able to win on the road, games that he's not supposed to, excel in the biggest moments, and just have that consistency in which I feel comfortable as a Commanders fan when Jaden Daniels has a ball and it's late. I, as a Dolphin fan, have not reached the point of 100% comfort when Tua has the ball and my team needs a play, needs a drive, needs a win. I've seen too many take a sack, fumble the snap, throw a screen. So I would say in that sense, I guess as of right now, if I have a 1-season sample, I'm taking Jaden Daniels.
Right, and I agree with you right there. The sample size is what makes this kind of a tricky wicket. Jaden Daniels, he's had a great year. He is a rookie. He hasn't played that many games, though. Tua has a larger sample size. But the thing about this is it's a smaller sample size, but he has 2 playoff wins, which is 2 more than Tua Tagovailoa has.
Wow.
And he's leading a team that was not supposed to be all that great this year to being one of the best teams
in the
league.
Put that roster next to our roster. You won't tell me that this team is 2 playoff victories better than the Miami Dolphins.
Going into hostile Detroit and winning, too.
Come on. That's something I haven't seen from our boy. I've seen our boy flop on primetime in more ways than one, unfortunately. Which brings us to the final quarterback.
This one's interesting.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Now I see their playability as comparable. Obviously, so did Alabama, and so did anyone who saw these 2 quarterbacks as they entered the draft. Since then, though, Jalen Hurts has a Super Bowl appearance. He's on his way to another NFC championship. And I say this all the time. The best ability is availability. Jalen Hurts has his issues with injuries as well, but he hasn't, died on the field twice. So there's that. In addition to that, mobility. Jalen Hurts is the more mobile of the 2 quarterbacks. I would say Tua is the more accurate of the 2, but again, it's just such a close, measurement between the accuracy and arm strength that I think the thing that separates them is Jalen Hurts' mobility. And I mean, he can get a yard, dude. The whole tush push kind of works because he has a technique of getting 1 yard. And unfortunately, I can't trust Tua to do the same.
This is one of the 4 where I am going to go with Tua Tagovailoa simply because of ability, not so much availability, but I just feel as though you switch Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa, And you're in a better situation with Tua because of the opposite. He can pass. He can complete passes. There's times where it seems like A.J. Brown is a nobody, a no-show. And it's not because A.J. Brown's not good. It's because Jalen Hurts is having problems getting the ball out. So I think, and if you ask Philadelphia Eagles fans, and I don't ask them because I don't want to speak to them because of obvious reasons, but I think in their heart of hearts, if they could either have Jalen Hurts or Tua Tagovailoa, I think overall ability goes to Tua Tagovailoa. I'm happier with Tua than Jalen Hurts. I would not make a 1-for-1 trade with Philadelphia, Tua and Jalen Hurts. I don't know. You might feel different. That's okay. I understand that, but I do like the running ability of Jalen Hurts, and he seems to be a winner, but he's got a lot of really good pieces around him.
That's the thing. You know, I will, and Waddle Baby Waddle brought this up in the chat. I love how we can just seriously quote that name without even like, Waddle Baby Waddle brought this up. Anyway, he says in the chat, Hurts has the best O-line and the best running back in the league.
Yeah, that running back helps a lot.
That is a very valid point.
And the number 1 defense in the league too.
That is a very valid point. And he's kind of been blessed in that situation since entering the league. But I will say the greatest show on surf was last year, right? And the defense wasn't horrible with Vic Fangio. Of course, it could have been better, but
top 10.
You have a comparable quarterback, you have a comparable roster, and you have the same defensive coordinator. One team has made it to the NFC Championship, and the other team is going on year 25 of playoff droughts. So it's rough. I don't know. Again, I say all this with like the notion that I do like Tua. I actually do. I really do. I'm not as like scared as everyone is whenever he takes off to run, because I like that competitive nature of him. And I do think that he's a good quarterback. And you know what? I do think he is good enough to win a Super Bowl. But with that being said, it's going to take a lot of other things in order for that to happen. What that may be, we'll look ahead to later on in the show. We got some mock draft coverage. We're going to be discussing who the Dolphins should pick up, how the order has been affected now that these teams have been eliminated, and what may be available in regards to moves Miami can make to become competitive again. We got that and much more on the Tobin and Leroy Show. Guys are fall. Time now to get to our game balls and game bums. Damn, it was an eventful weekend. Plenty of opportunities to choose, but I think I was able to narrow it down. Once and for all. Let's start with the positive. We'll start with the game balls, shall we? I'd like to give an easy one. This is low-hanging fruit for sure. So I'd like to start with some football. I'm going to give 2 game balls, one to Saquon Barkley, the other one to Jaden Daniels.
Oh, yeah.
If you saw any sort of football this weekend, those are easy, of course. Anyone with eyes would give those 2 game balls. Dan, do you have any? Do you have any that you want to give out?
Talking about the game balls?
Yeah, game balls.
Absolutely, man. You got to give it to the big man who showed up big, outplayed Victor Wembanyama yesterday.
Yeah.
KEL'EL WARE.
That's right.
That
is right. Easy, dude. Easy to see. An amazing game from him yesterday.
And also, I want to give Brianna Stewart a little bit of game balls right now.
Brianna Stewart.
Her 3-on-3 women's league began this past weekend here in Miami.
That's right. What is the name?
Undefeated?
Undisputed, potentially. Unimaginable that we wouldn't know the name, but it is still something that we respect and appreciate.
It's unrivaled.
That's
unrivaled.
Right.
So it's in a warehouse, a big warehouse down studio here in Miami. Our own guy from 1027 The Beach, Kenny Walker, is not just the Dolphins PA guy.
Yeah.
He is now the PA for that league.
All right.
Unrivaled. So give some love. Of course, Brianna Stewart started the league because of the whole incidents overseas. Some of the WNBA players have been getting in trouble and getting, some issues internationally. And she said, just stay home. We'll get you paid. She got to deal with TNT. You can watch some of the games. Looked like it was pretty fun from what I saw. I was working most of the weekend, so I didn't get to see it all. So I want to give her a game ball for trying to help out her fellow basketball players.
Absolutely. And hopefully it leads to a bigger opportunity. If I'm not mistaken, their salary is equal to the one that they get in the WNBA. Whoa. But it's, much less work. And
travel,
it really is a good thing that these female athletes are finding ways to get that bag because they deserve it.
Absolutely.
I'm going to give one more game ball though before we move on to our game bums, if that's okay. I think this guy has been the unsung hero from beyond anyone's line of sight. He doesn't get that much credit. Usually a lot of the credit goes to Spo, goes to maybe even Andy Ellisberg, Pat Riley, Adam Simon. Adam Simon is going to get a game ball from me because this man has not missed since Precious Achiuwa. And I wouldn't even say that was a miss. I would say that just, wasn't someone that fit our needs at the moment and didn't necessarily develop at a rate that we could be patient enough for. But if you look at his track record as of recent, he seems to be on a streak that is currently setting the Miami Heat up for having one of the best young cores in basketball. And that couldn't have happened without the genius that is Adam Simon. So he gets a game ball from me as well. Dan, now it's the unfortunate time in which we have to give out some game bums. Now, another plethora of things to pick from. And this is going to suck because I understand mistakes happen. But my first game bum has to go to Ravens tight end Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews, unfortunately.
Tough day at the office.
Tough season, if I'm being honest.
No, he hadn't fumbled since 2019. But last night was different.
Not necessarily because of the fumbles, and I'm sure as the season progressed, he began to pick things up to what we would expect from him. But he started that season, if you remember, Isaiah Likely, the backup tight end, unbelievable. Honestly, that first game where he was like slightly out of bounds,
yeah.
That's what started the season off, and kind of was the writing on the wall in regards to Isaiah Likely having, a breakout season when anyone was expecting Mark Andrews. But unfortunately, yesterday, the biggest moment everyone will be focusing on is the drop on the 2-point conversion that would have tied things late with about 90 seconds left in the game for the Baltimore Ravens. 2-point conversion. He goes out, ball's in his hands. Unfortunately, slips through. Things happen. It's very cold. Easier said than done, big moment. But that won't save you from getting a game bum from your boy.
Bum.
Now, after the game, of course, this was something that was going to be a point that was brought up to multiple people within the locker room. John Harbaugh, coach of the Ravens, made it a point to tell reporters that there's nobody that has more heart, cares more, and fights more than Mark. We wouldn't be here without Mark Andrews, backing his tight end, saying that Mark will handle it fantastically like he always does because he's a high character person, he's a tough person, and he's a good person. And then Lamar Jackson, of course, the person throwing that ball and who's probably going to receive a majority of the scrutiny for yesterday's loss, even open up in support and says that he's just as hurt as Mark and he's not going to put that on him. And it just kind of seems like the team is rallying around the veteran tight end, even though he couldn't secure the catch and potentially costing them their opportunity there. Dan, do you have any game bums that you would like to hand out?
Yeah, this one hurts me a little bit for a lot of reasons. I hate to be negative and stuff, but you do have to be negative at certain points. And another reason this one hurts me is I actually attended this university for a while, and I really, really, really enjoyed my time there. And it, to me, class university, a top 10 public school in the United States, known for its great academics, for its great education, for the way it really treats their student body and how they hold themselves in high esteem and very well in the community. But I have to give my bum to the University of Wisconsin.
Bum.
Yeah, Dan.
Freshman cornerback Xavier Lucas.
Yeah.
Wants to go into the transfer portal. They said, nah.
Which is like, what?
They said, no, you have a 2-year binding NIL deal. The only problem is you can't have an NIL deal with a university.
Ooh, only with the sponsorship.
Only with sponsorships and the boosters.
Yeah. So wait, so you can take like an NIL deal to another school potentially then, if that's the case.
Theoretically, whatever the contract says.
Yeah, for sure.
So Xavier Lucas, Pompano Beach's own,
yeah,
goes up to Wisconsin, signs some type of 2-year deal, not with the university because that's not legal right now. Decides after a year he wants to come home and play for the University of Miami. Can I go to the transfer portal? No. You know what? I'm transferring anyway. NCAA comes out and says, you know what? Go ahead. Wisconsin is now going to try to sue a 19-year-old kid over a huge public university, a top 10 academic university in the United States is suing, or at least attempting to sue a 19-year-old kid over a contract that they don't even have. That's bum material right there.
That is bum material for sure.
And we need him on the defense for Miami.
If possible, if we can speed this lawsuit up, that would be the best. I got one more game bum that I want to give out. This was one of the headlines leading into the Rams versus Eagles. Jared Verse was a rookie defensive end for the Los Angeles Rams, and was quoted before the game. This was quite quite some time ago, but definitely they made it known. They even posted it on the scoreboard at a certain point. His comments about Eagles fans, saying that he hated them and that anytime he saw the green and white, it just bothered him because Eagles fans were annoying. Obviously, Eagles fans, not necessarily the most calm people, as a nice way of putting it. Sure that they were all level-headed, of course, as they read these comments.
Well received, I'm sure.
Definitely made it known that he was not a fan favorite, to say the least. And what makes things worse is breakout touchdown from Saquon Barkley as he's running 60, 70 yards down the field. Who is chasing him on the Jumbotron? None other than defensive line, which is excellent hustle on his part to be even just down there and even close to catching him. But Jared Verse right there, right in the camera's angle to watch Saquon Barkley march into the end zone. And I'm sure every Philly fan who saw that was pointing at number 8 as he just narrowly missed out on stopping Saquon.
He touched him right as he got into the end zone. Like right when he got to the goal line, he pushed him.
Did get 2 sacks though.
Hey,
pretty good game.
Pretty good day in the office, actually.
Pretty good game. But definitely not a good look when you call out a fan base. You call out and then you have to play them on the road in the playoffs. Doesn't matter how good of a game. If you come out with a loss, unfortunately, you're also going home with a game bum.
Oh,
bum.
Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, much more games to play on the Tobin and Leroy show. When we come back, we're going to talk more Miami Heat and the breakout duo that is Bam Adebayo and KEL'EL WARE. We're going to talk about some mock drafts that have come out and see where your Miami Dolphins can make the best move possible. And let's not forget about our Panthers, baby. Got some cat talk coming up. All of that and much more when we return on the Tobin and Leroy show. Welcome back to the Tobin and Leroy Show, hour 3 of the program, as Mark Hockman would say. We are live here on 560 QAM. We're also on Miami 560 QAM, WQAM on YouTube and Twitch. You can catch our beautiful faces there, or you can catch the sultry sounds of my voice and Dan's voice, Dan Day in with me, on our Odyssey app. JFig will be joining us probably at the end of this hour, maybe, if she wants to. It's up to her. You know, I'm even just happy that she's controlling the video on this day off, and it's a ghost yard in here. Ghost yard? It's a ghost town.
Ghost town?
Yeah, it's a ghost yard.
No, on days like this, whenever there's nobody in the building.
Yeah, for sure.
Try to walk around a little bit, you know. No, don't worry if my shirt's tucked in or my zipper zipped. I'm just kind of, I'm out there, man.
I mean, usually I feel like, you know, it doesn't matter. These people next to us are pretty busy. Pretty busy day right here.
It's a big political day for some reason.
Radio Libre. I believe Mr. Trump could potentially be addressing the audience at the moment. I believe that's what I overheard. I'm not sure what's going on. Who do you think has more listeners or followers right now, Donald Trump or me?
You.
That's what I was thinking.
For sure.
That's what I was thinking for
It's been a big weekend. We got the Miami Heat with that win, Jimmy Butler situation. We got the University of Wisconsin suing maybe a Miami player.
We got it all going on for us.
Inter Miami started their season.
Did they? I know you're tied in. You're tied in with the Pinks.
An exhibition game against Liga MX America in Las Vegas. We got a 3-2 shootout win.
You know what? I'm sorry. We got a 3-2 shootout win.
Go ahead.
That's what you said. So I want to commend them for that. That's
the Marlins. You saw Tanner Scott, the reliever, who we traded last year to the Padres. He signed a $72 million contract with the Dodgers.
Hey, dude.
And this year, the Marlins projected payroll $73 million.
Look at that. Now, let me tell you something, bucko. You want to hear this? This is from Florida Sports Buzz.
Ooh.
He posted this nearly 24 hours ago. The Dodgers deal with ex-Marlins Tanner Scott leaves them with $375 million for 2025 payroll. The Marlins' entire payroll this decade, 6 years, including 2025, is $429 million. That is ridiculous.
Can't wait.
You want to know how to not win in baseball? Be cheap. But I know, we'll see Peter Bendix is doing some things. He signed like a 16-year-old the other day.
Some Venezuelan.
Which is like cool. I appreciate that. But when the hell am I going to be able to, what's going on here? Unless he's going to come in like Yuri and start early.
And then we'll shut him down. And he's an infielder.
You know how it is.
Maybe trade him if he's worth something.
We'll find a way to bleep it up, Dan. We will find a way to bleep it up. But you know who finds a way to keep it going, dude? You want to know who finds a way to keep it going? Your Florida Panthers. Your Florida Panthers, the Cats, baby. They had a good weekend. And they're back at it tonight, if I'm not mistaken. But this weekend, they were able to shut out the Ducks. They shut out the Ducks on Saturday, a 3-0 victory with Spencer Knight in between the posts and nets. The pipes. There you go. There's a hockey term. Look at us. We're just two hockey guys right here, you and I.
Yeah, skating it up
with our boys. Spencer Knights in between the pipes, like I mentioned, shutout for him. But probably the more surprising part was an ejection for the Florida Panthers of Sam Reinhart.
A little knee on knee action is what they call that.
Knee on knee action. I didn't know that was illegal, Dan. I didn't know that was illegal.
I just see it's highly dangerous, which I can understand.
Yeah, though, I'm looking at it now. It was an accident, dude. He did lift his leg a little bit uncharacteristically to make this happen, and I don't appreciate that. But it was a total accident, dude. Come on. Reinhardt's a good guy. He received a 5-minute major in game misconduct, And then the guy didn't, he needed help off the ice and didn't return to the contest. But he should be wearing knee pads. All right. Like these pretty boy wide receivers that don't wear any pads. That's pretty impressive though. They managed just fine though, because without their leading scorer, like I said, Spencer Knight really held things down. They're back at it again, Dan. Do you know what time they play tonight?
It's tomorrow night.
Is what I meant to say. Tomorrow, Dan.
They're
at
in
10
Anaheim.
o'clock.
10 o'clock. Did you see that the Hurricanes basketball team? Well, I'm not going to get into how badly they lost this past weekend, but they got a game against Stanford later on this week. 11 p.m. tip.
What the hell are you talking about?
You want to work that game?
No, I don't want to work that game. Stanford. Where is Stanford? Like that's
California, man.
Okay, well they're busy at the moment, so I guess they can. Is it
Palo Alto, California.
Palo Alto,
beautiful country out there.
Is it?
Beautiful school.
Well,
I can't say much about their student body. I don't know anybody that's ever gone to Stanford. Not that I don't live in that crust of society.
You know what they say, Dan? I make more friends in jail than I would in Yale.
Really?
I think someone said that before.
Who said that?
I think I may have said that. Probably rapped that before. It's a famous quote.
That's a quote that
look. If Jimmy Butler would have said that, that would be on T-shirts everywhere. I promise.
I don't even want to dive into that,
I
man.
make more friends in jail than I would in Yale, Dan. Come on. Now you can see that on a shirt. That's pretty good.
Makes me a lot of questions, man.
Anyway, we have some more updates like we've been talking about at nauseum to this point. The NFL narrowed down to the final four teams after the Chiefs beat the Texans 23-14. The Bills toppled the Baltimore Ravens 27-25. The Eagles pulled away from the Rams 28-22. And the one that broke our hearts, the Lions lost 31-45 against the Commanders. Had a split weekend for the Heat. Yesterday, Wemby, like the windsock that he is, was sent packing as Miami Heat were able to win 128-107. That was coming on the heels of a loss, unfortunately, 133-113. Miami Heat, 500. They are currently 8th in the standings, just above 500. I apologize. 21-20. 8th in the Eastern Conference standings. Dan, do you have faith? Have we figured it out? That's fair.
Yeah.
That was a fair assessment.
I mean, look, let's see what this big lineup can do. If it can replicate what it did last night, 46 points in the third quarter.
Come on.
Let's go.
That's the third quarter usually. But it did not go out that way.
Did you see that the ACC is thinking about tinkering with their championship game?
Oh, I didn't see that. What are they thinking about doing?
So, sometimes it's a punishment to play in the championship game because if you lose, then you're not in. But if you win, you're in. So the commissioner says they're thinking about possibly whoever wins the ACC regular season, just letting them not play and having second and third place play in the ACC championship game.
Yeah, well, that's not the ACC championship then.
Yeah, exactly. But also it could be and this is even weird, a 14 playoff in the ACC championship before they could go to the playoffs. It's like a lot of football.
A playoff before the playoff.
So they would make the last season of the year a playoff between the top 4 teams. So they apparently have to reschedule and reorganize everybody. And then have the ACC championship game, championship weekend. And then it's just throwing out spitballing, as they say.
They're like, all right, hey, you know what would be dope if we throw a tournament before the tournament?
Yeah.
Hear me out. Another tournament within the tournament.
I got another idea. The first half of the season, we have a tournament. The winner of that gets a bye. But we play a second tournament, and the winner of that plays in the ACC championship game.
And you know how we determine your seeding in the tournament? A tournament. That's interesting. The ACC, God bless them, trying to figure it out, trying to figure out what they can do to remain relevant, because it seems like the SEC is in bed with all college football there, even though they're not that good. They're not that good, Dan. They're not that good.
No teams in the national championship tonight. Ohio State and Notre Dame.
That dude. Let's talk about this national championship. If you're gonna force me to do so, Dan, I don't necessarily care for either of these teams, But if I had to choose one of lesser evil, in my opinion, I would choose the Ohio State Buckeyes to win. What is your opinion on the game? Who do you think is going to win, and who are you rooting for?
My opinion on the game is I think it's great. I've liked the college football playoffs. I know some of the games haven't been that competitive, but it's been fun to watch, and it's fun that they've incorporated the bowl games. And I've been impressed. And you've seen some teams that maybe you didn't expect to make a run, like Notre Dame and Ohio State. I think I want to say, man, I've been tossing and turning on this one a little bit. Ohio State it seems like whenever they're in a national championship game or a big game, they find a way to win. But then again, in the past, Notre Dame, whenever they've been underdogs, they've always found a way to miraculously find a win. You could say what you want to say, win one for the Gipper or God's team or whatever you want to say. But I just think Ohio State and their big game presence, I don't know if they win by 8.5, 9 points, but I think Ohio State probably wins by about 3 because Notre Dame has, I think, the third best rushing attack in college football. Plus, they got a good defense that can keep you close in a game. So if you can run the ball and you can play defense, you can stay in the game. I just think Ohio State in the end has too much talent. And I know some people might get upset with me. Who am I going for tonight? Oh, it's hard, man. Being Irish Catholic, you got to go with Notre Dame. It's just one of those things, man.
You know, as a football fan, I think you're going to keep your eye on 2 things for sure. If you're an Ohio State fan, you're going to keep an eye out for anyone wearing number 45 on that other team. Oh, Rudy Rudiger. Don't know if he's going to make an appearance tonight. Keep an eye
nowadays
out.
With eligibility, he probably does.
Keep an eye out for someone with the 1-bar face mask. If you see someone with a potentially older uniform than the rest of the team, that's old Rudy. You watch out for him. That guy can do anything. So watch out for that. And if you are a Notre Dame fan and you're going to be keeping an eye out for these Ohio State shenanigans, look out for any pass interference calls.
Ooh.
These bogus pass interference calls, they tend to hover around this Ohio State team.
And national championships.
You know, specifically for national championships, if you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, you know, watch those are 2 things to watch for to see if Rudy Rudiger suits up and to see if there's going to be any.
I actually interviewed Rudy one time.
Did you?
He's a motivational speaker now.
Wow, of course.
And he really he tries to. I'll be like, he's like, hey Dan, have you ever been a walk-on a football team? I'm like, no. He's like, but you will walk on in life. You're just like Rudy. I was like, no, I'm nothing like you, Rudy.
No, dude. You know what? I don't like that you're talking third person right now, Mr. Rudiger. And personally, you weren't even that good. Well,
personally, of course he wasn't that good.
He's just a walk-on. He got a 1 sack.
He got a 1 play, but 1 sack. You can't deny he's a very effective player, though.
I mean, those efficiencies, that efficiency is through the roof. But let's be honest, dude. I don't know if this guy would make it on the lava, if I'm being real. But yeah, keep an eye out for those things. That's the type of coverage you only get here on the Tobin and Leroy Show. I want you to know that. That's the kind of insight you're going to get all day here on the Tobin and Leroy Show. When we come back, Dan, it is time it's that season already, dude. It is that season already. Got a new NFL mock draft released by CBS Sports. We're going to go ahead and give you a first look at what the next season could look like if you're an NFL fan. And I got to be honest, Dan, it's only 1 mock draft. It's already pissing me off. It's already pissing me off, dude.
Ooh, can we get another fast running back?
Ooh, that would be nice. That would be better than this pick that I saw here by CBS Sports. So we'll talk about that and much more when we come back. All right, Dan, who's this?
Living Color.
A good show. A good show. Oh, I've heard this song. Okay, no, is this a wrestler's theme song?
I think it is.
You know why? Okay, let me look this up. What is it? You said Living Color.
That's the name of the band. The song is Cult of Personality.
Cult of Personality. This is totally a wrestler's entrance music.
I know there was a woman named Ruby
CM
Soho one
Punk.
time. Oh, is CM Punk?
Yeah, he's been connected to the song for over a decade. Yeah, because I heard that and I was like, this sounds like a wrestler's entrance.
Wasn't CM Punk the one on a reality show like Real World or something like that?
No, that was The Miz.
Oh, okay.
The
Whew.
Miz, yeah, no. CM Punk is currently probably one of the top billing wrestlers in the world right now, but he's definitely past his prime, to say the least.
Wrestlers used to have long primes like Hulk Hogan, Undertaker.
Yeah. Maybe the standards were like low. Well, no, because the standards were just as high for Undertaker. Of course, towards the end of Undertaker's career, it was kind of like, all right, we should probably begin moving away from certain things like this. The injuries pile up, but it kind of seems like I'm looking at him younger and younger, like, or maybe because my own age is advancing, I'm able to see in others like, oh, this guy's too old to be doing that. As a kid, I see, a 35-year-old, 40-year-old doing something. I'm like, he's just an adult doing something. Now that I can compare, I'm like, I know that hurts, dude.
Like Ric Flair, man. He was like 70 and still wrestling.
Like this guy's I know that hurts, dude.
Does your son watch wrestling?
No, he's still kind of
too young.
It's too young. He's kind of like in the cartoons. Although strangely enough, I was watching Dexter the other day and he was totally locked into that.
Okay.
And I was like, you probably shouldn't be watching this serial killer stuff. So I had to change it back to Bluey. But Dan, it's that season, dude. Draft season. It is time to listen to experts guess and usually be completely off. Not always the first couple picks for sure.
Yeah, the first couple picks is easy because they have their inside sources and they know where that's going to fall. But after about like the 10th pick,
correct.
Maybe the 10th pick. Oh,
yeah, bro. It gets rough. It gets rough and further away from reality usually. Crazy things happen. I heard a story recently that the Raiders and Rams were both going to draft a player with the same name, and supposedly the Raiders drafted the wrong guy, and the one that the Rams got was really good, the one that the Raiders got was really bad.
Great.
And I was like, typical Raiders, to be honest.
And yeah, I know.
And right now there's a sneaky suspicion that with the first pick, the Tennessee Titans could be selecting Cam Ward.
I would expect that.
Yeah, I think honestly he's the most polished product of the quarterbacks. I'm a bit biased, of course, but I've never been too impressed with Shedeur Sanders, and I do know that what I saw prior to the season beginning was a video that released of Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders working out, and he was kind of just mad at him because he wanted to drink water. And I was like, a guy who is like angry at another person for drinking water, that's the mentality you need to be successful in life. It's psychotic for sure, but sometimes you need to be a little bit crazy to be successful. You can write that down. Moving on in this fantasy world of mock drafts, with the second pick, they have the Cleveland Browns selecting Abdul Carter, which is an edge rusher out of Penn State. I found that as something that's pretty interesting because they have Myles Garrett, and he's not going anywhere. No. He is a cornerstone of that franchise. And you know what they don't have? A quarterback.
I mean, they're paying one guy a lot to be quarterback.
They are indeed. And he unfortunately a couple weeks ago had a setback with his injury, so it seems like he'll be missing even more time. And even when he comes back, he's probably going to be the shell of himself that we've seen, ever since his return. So if I were them, I'd definitely be looking towards a quarterback. But according to the CBS Sports.com mock draft, who wrote this so I can yell at them? This is by Josh Edwards. You bastard. Is that too much? I'm sorry. It was too much. With the third pick, Shedeur Sanders going to the Giants.
But that's kind of what the thing. Maybe that's kind of the reasoning why, because I think Dion and Shedeur have gone and said that they only will play for certain teams, or when they say they, Shador will only play for certain teams.
Cool, which makes sense. Fine. Then if I'm Cleveland and that's the case, that's the predicament I've been put in. I trade down and double up on some picks. I'm not going to get just another edge rusher just because. But what do I know? What do I know, Dan? With the 4th pick, they have Travis Hunter going to New England, which makes sense and is very scary as a Dolphins fan to hear.
He's a dynamic player. He might be maybe a little undersized, but we know what he can do. So yeah, I could see him going high.
Yeah, a bit nervous as a Dolphins fan to think that the Patriots could have one there.
It's going to be interesting to see what his role would be with whatever team he goes to. Is he going to be a slash type player? Is he going to be only on the defensive side? It's going to be fun to see.
Maybe it's a situational kind of thing in that you go against a team that has, for example, a strong secondary. You're probably going to need more help on the receiving side, or you're going against a team that has a great wide receiving core. Then you're probably going to need a little bit more help on the secondary.
What do they have him listed as?
Athlete.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay. Well, I thought maybe that would give us some clarity.
Yeah,
CB, yeah.
Nope. They have him as ATH, which I can only imagine means athlete.
I could see him being a full-time cornerback and then having like a Travis Hunter package, like a 3rd down package, or, a series of plays, kind of like what Cordell Stewart kind of did back in the day, kind of a slash type player where he does a lot of mostly defense, but every once in a while they'll sneak him in at wide receiver for a couple of plays a game or whenever they feel the need to. So I don't know. We'll see. Should be interesting. You never know with these guys.
For sure. I think about the only problem I have with that is like as a defense, if I see him on the field, he's getting the ball. Or like most likely he's getting the ball. Which then it's like obviously a team will adjust and now he's just going to be a decoy of some sort. And then now I have this very expensive decoy. And, I don't know. It's very confusing because we haven't seen it before, but that doesn't mean it's impossible. And if there's anybody who's going to figure it out, something tells me that the Patriots will probably do a good job of figuring out how to annoy the league with this guy.
Mike Vrabel.
That's right.
Leading the team.
Who very famous for saying he would cut off his own junk, I think, if the Titans made the playoffs. So that's what I remember him for. That is.
Why would you make that type of statement?
You know what? Because he knew the Titans weren't going anywhere, buddy. I'll do that. Hey, listen, Dan. I'll jump off a building if the Marlins make the World Series this year. How about that?
Okay, there you go.
That's a confidence.
Mark the tape.
Please don't. Fast forwarding a bit to other names that may be worth mentioning. At pick 7, they have Will Campbell, offensive tackle, going to the Jets. I guess that's always a solid pick. You get a high-ranked offensive lineman. Usually it works out, and usually you solidify your offensive line.
Speaking of birthdays, Liam Eichenberg, I'm speaking of linemen. It's Liam Eichenberg's birthday.
Don't ever mention that.
This man's birthday. Give him a break.
I'm giving him a break by not saying what I really want to say. So I'll just instead
That's your birthday present to him?
Liam Eichenberg, my present to you is a happy birthday. Happy birthday, sir. Enjoy it because it's your last one in Miami. Moving on to another point of interest that I think Doll fans would want to hear, and that is pick number 13. Your Miami Dolphins are currently in possession of that pick. And again, we're reviewing a mock draft written by Josh Edwards from CBSSports.com. Miami Dolphins with the 13th pick. Where do you think they should go, Dan? Just, without even giving me according to this mock draft, Ashton Jeanty, the running back out of Boise State, he went one pick before to the Dallas Cowboys. So in case you're trying to give me another running back, Dan, he is off the board.
Shoot. I would say offensive line.
Correct, right? Something in the trenches, of course.
Absolutely.
Another pass rusher would seem redundant with Chop Robinson being a selection last year. I know you had Patrick Paul last year as well, but it kind of seemed like the glaring hole in your team was the offensive line. I think a lot of Miami Dolphins fans could agree to that if you're not trading up to get Cam Ward somehow, which is not going to happen, then let's solidify that offensive line. Let's get some help. Let's get a guard in here. Let's get something. Even if we have to trade down because it's too high and whatever the case
Right, and it doesn't fit.
This is where I'm starting to get pissed off, Dan. This is where I'm starting to get pissed off. CBSSports.com mock draft here has the number 13 pick for the Miami Dolphins going to a selection out of Penn State, the senior at 6'6", 260 pounds, tight end Tyler Warren.
Okay. I mean, okay.
A tight end.
We got Jonnu Smith locked down and had a career year last year.
Just had a career year last year. You got 4 different tight ends that also catch playing time. I've seen enough of Julian Hill, Durham Smythe. And there's someone else who I'm even forgetting that I'm just like, all right, dude, enough of the tight end thing. You mean to tell me after a career year from Jonnu Smith, you look at that team and you're like, you know what we need right now? Potentially another blocking tight end, because God bless him. Maybe he is athletic, but at 6'6", 260 pounds, I don't see you blazing across the field, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, but it's a different game now. Tight ends are very important, and if you can put 2 tight ends on the field, Jonnu Smith and maybe a better blocking, bigger, stronger guy to kind of bolster the line and block, maybe that's their thinking right there, that they kind of get a dual threat out of him, a blocker and a receiver that can kind of be dangerous. I don't know. Maybe that's their thing. Of course, that's the thinking of course, the mock draft. That's not, of course, what Chris Greer is thinking, because who knows what that guy's thinking.
Well, 98 receptions, 1,100 yards, 12 touchdowns. Potentially that would help you with a red zone target of some sort. And the Miami Dolphins, and this is something that is no secret, have a problem getting 1 yard.
Yeah.
So maybe this can help you in that sense, but nowhere near as much as a stud at center or guard, or it's literally freaking anywhere.
Tackle.
Dude. Just anywhere on the offensive line. Can I get something, dude? Teron Armstead is being held together with staples and scotch tape. I got Patrick Paul, who's going to step up in there. Liam Eichenberg is just, God bless him on his birthday, but he is a bleepity bleep 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 bleep.
Aaron Brewer had a good year at center. He's a little undersized, but had a good year.
No, he definitely did. He definitely did. And I believe Austin Jackson should be
returning.
So that's, obviously solid, but, let's go ahead and plug in. Let's
get a
little
more depth.
Come on, let's keep it going. Clearly, that's been an issue for as long as I can remember. I've been a Dolphin fan for probably this entire, it could be my fault, because the earliest Dolphin season I remember was the JFig 2000 season, if I'm not mistaken. And it could be my fault that the Dolphins, since I've been conscious of Dolphin football, haven't had an opportunity to return to glory. But for as long as I can remember, we've had issues with the offensive line, dude. Am I wrong about that? Am I seeing something? I feel this is how I feel with the Miami Heat and this KEL'EL WARE thing. For as long as I can remember, we've had a problem with height. Why the hell aren't we playing the big guy? And for the Miami Dolphins, as long as I can remember, we've had an issue with the offensive line. Why the hell would I get Tyler Warren? I don't even like his name. It's a stupid name. How about that? Tyler Warren. God bless you if you get drafted by the Dolphins.
You're our guy.
I'll
buy a Warren jersey.
Yeah, for sure. But of all the Warrens, Warren Moon, Warren Sapp, those are cool. Those are cool names. Tyler Herro, Tyler Hansbrough. I don't like Hansbrough, but it's a cooler name than Tyler Warren. Stupid name. I want something cool. Chob Robinson. That's a cool name.
That's a good one.
That's good. Devon A-Chan. Didn't know if it was A-Chan before. Now we know.
Shouldn't have gone to A-Chan. Should have stayed with A-Chan.
That's what I'm saying, dude. We could have had the chain every time he scored.
He probably could have made a bundle off of it too.
So much more marketing opportunities with that one.
You're not supposed to worry about how your name is actually pronounced. It's all about how your name can benefit you.
You think Carmen Electra is her name? Stupid. No. All right. We do it for showbiz.
Yeah. Her real name, her first name can't be Carmen.
Yeah, right. Come on, that'd be ridiculous. So that is really where I'm pissed off by this list. Looking ahead, not necessarily anyone of mention that would really set any sort of expectation that, okay, this team is someone you need to be watching based off of this pickup.
One of the guys I'm going to look for, maybe in some of the later rounds, second, third, fourth round, to possibly be available would be a quarterback out of Ole Miss, Jackson Dart.
Oh, Dart
for the Miami Dolphins. Maybe solidify your backup quarterback position a little more.
Talk to me, Dan.
But I'm just saying, I've seen him. He seems like he's very capable. He seems like he's a good guy. Seems like he's got some skill. It'd be interesting.
Would you waste the second round pick on that, man?
It's a lot. I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, but after seeing,
what I mean, as of right now, we have Snoop. I think
Tyler Huntley. Yeah.
That's really cool. But Skylar Thompson is a Steeler, if I'm not mistaken.
He is a Steeler. So I am not sad about that at all.
No, you know what?
From the very beginning, people hated me when I told. I was like, man, and now it sounds revisionist, but no, I was always saying Skylar Thompson is a 7th round pick.
Yeah.
That you didn't hear about in college, that doesn't play very good now for a reason. Oh, no, you don't understand. In preseason, he tore it up with Erik Spoelstra. Another guy who never plays in regular season. Not very good.
Yeah, but that one time, though.
How dare you? We can't let him go. I said, we can't. Reed Sinnott, we couldn't let him go. How did that work out?
Remember him?
We're fine.
Oh, Sinnott to win it. That is good.
Sky's the limit. All right. So,
Dan, you're a real curmudgeon.
No. But if Jackson Dart's available in the 4th round, definitely pull the trigger.
I know 100%. I'd pull the trigger on that. I'm not sure if this Quinn Ewers is going as well, but
he has declared for the draft.
So that is definitely something. If I'm not necessarily bolstering the offensive line with every damn pick of this draft, I do also want to solidify the quarterback position. I think that's an excellent choice on your end. And if I was Chris Greer, I would avoid drafting corners because you don't know how to.
Well, no, Igbenogany's starting for the Commanders.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's is he starting?
He's a starting cornerback for the Commanders.
This hurts my heart.
I didn't say he was great. I just said he was a starting cornerback for a team that's in the.
Well, Eli Apple started at a certain point, so you never know. Sometimes things happen, but this blows my mind that that's even possible. Where the hell is Cam Smith? What is going on here?
Cam Smith, I've given up on him.
Yeah, that's fair. That is another Noah Igbenogany situation, but God bless him. God bless them all.
Second round pick, man. Gotta watch out for that second round. Just get an offensive lineman. Just draft. Hey, do me a favor. Draft 8 offensive linemen and a backup quarterback. Draft nothing but offensive linemen, because I promise you, if you draft 8 of them, one's got to be good.
2 got to be serviceable.
Yeah,
come on, dude. That's 3 out of 8. That's like I'm not even being like ridiculous with this. One of them has to be good. I can't tell you which one is going to be. I'm not necessarily saying the higher round one. It could be we find a gem in the 4th round.
It happens all the time.
But damn it, 2 of them will be serviceable, and we need the depth, Dan. That is the plan. Draft 8 offensive linemen and Jackson Dart.
You know how much movement you would have to do to make sense of drafting 8 offensive linemen? Because there's going to come times when it's like it's a reach. So you don't want to reach. You want to get more draft capital. That's so you would trade down or you would trade up. And
hey, man,
Chris Greer, earn your money.
You gotta be moving and shaking. All right. You got to be moving and shaking.
All weekend, he's just on the 3 phones at the same time. Hold on, wait, no.
Who's got the biggest playoff drought, Dan?
Oh, it's by far the Miami Dolphins.
So you got to do what you got to do. You got to be moving and shaking. If I don't see him sweating, I want him to start the draft like in a normal suit, and at the end, I want it to be like at the end of like a bar mitzvah or something like that. I want the tie loose. I want him sweating. I want him slamming his hand on the freaking. I want everything.
Oh, with the Commanders making the conference championship, now the Dolphins have the longest drought making it to the conference championship. Also,
look at that, Dan. How long is that? How many years is that?
It's got to be at least 25 years. More than 25 because they lost in the second round in 2000. So
this is rough, dude. This is pre-existence for me. We have to go pre-existence because I think born in 93. I think it had to happen before 93.
Yeah. They did.
Pre-existence, Dan. I was
93 wasn't that the year that they went to the Super Bowl with Dan Marino in his second year? Oh no, 93. I was thinking 80. I'm thinking of the 80s. No,
let's see. Last time Dolphins made it to a conference championship. I
think it was like 98, 99, something like that. So
it's rough
in your lifetime. But it's sad that we have to even argue in your lifetime playoffs for a football team.
Playoffs?
And you're not a kid. You're not like a 6-year-old. I can understand, man, I'm 6 years old. I've never seen the Dolphins.
You called in 93. 93.
Okay, 93.
Last AFC championship. That was with Buffalo, and you were
Buffalo
also
killed us, by
83. They also made it in 83. They also made
83
it in
the Super Bowl.
73.
That was a different year. That was a different year.
Damn.
Different time. Different time.
Dan?
Is anybody excited or nervous? Andy Reid got his 300th win this past weekend, meaning that he's 47 wins away from tying Don Shula. My question is this. I could see two things happening. If, and it's a big if, Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl this year, I could see him saying, you know what?
No way.
History. I can't get any better than this.
Repeat.
I'm out.
Damn, that's good.
I could also see him saying, man, we got something special here. Patrick Mahomes, even though Travis Kelce's getting a little older, this defense, I'm in a groove. Not that it's easy, but
it's kind of
relative ease with, I'm not in terrible shape. I mean, terrible health. No, I didn't say shape. Terrible health.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. Let's ride this thing. So I could see it going both ways, but I'm a little nervous that Andy Reid could, especially with the extra games now, and there's going to be an 18th game eventually.
Man, but that's still 3 seasons of football,
right?
Full ass seasons, too.
Right?
Like that's rough, dude. Now, mind you, this is the guy that went to 4
or 5 seasons more.
Well, let's see. So 7. You said he's 47 wins, or
47 wins away from the tie.
Yeah, from the tie. So
I mean, and you're going to lose some games here and there, but there are the playoff games.
11,
they count
about 4 seasons, like you said.
At least 4 seasons. So but still, I just anytime that stuff starts, I start like when we get to week 8 or 9 and there's a team undefeated in the football season, I start.
No, it makes sense. Totally makes sense. Man, look at this. I'm just in amazement at this Stat Muse page of the Miami Dolphins playing in AFC Championship games. Like, who would have
used to be almost every year.
And I'm looking at it. I'm looking at about 83, 85, 86, 93. Like, wow, we were actually good.
Winning playoff games.
That hurts.
Winning divisions.
Bleeping heart, dude.
Fun to watch. I think it's still fun to watch, but
yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go cry and potentially wrap up in a fetal position on this break as we come back to close out the hour on Tobin and Leroy. Oh my God, we even have a jingle.
We told Liam Eichenberg happy birthday earlier today.
Yes, indeed.
Tyler Herro's birthday is today.
Damn it, I think I said that in the birthday thing. Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Well, that's not the breaking news.
Okay, all right. Woo! Woo!
He's eating breakfast right now. Even though it's not breakfast, because it's 12:50.
12:50
at the Edition in South Beach. I don't know. I heard it. I don't know.
Oh, on his birthday. Look at that.
On his birthday, he's in South Beach. Who would have thunk it?
You know what?
I want to find out what he's eating. Let me dig deeper.
You got the inside source.
I do have the inside source. Reliable source too.
Yes, for sure. And he said, "Where is he at? He's at the Edition."
Yeah, where like Matador, and there used to be a bowling alley down there.
Damn.
Right there on the beach.
Look at that.
He's living his best life.
He is living his best
Coming off
life.
a big win.
Shout out to Tyler Herro. He's been having a minute. You know what? This is an opportunity if you guys have the time. Why don't you vote for our boy? You can vote for our boy. Look, the inauguration's going on. There's a day of democracy. Why don't you take your opportunity to vote Tyler Herro into the NBA All-Star game? You know, you can do that simply by like tweeting or something like that, right? I don't know. You go to, how can you go? You go to the NBA website, nba.com/vote, or you can use the app. Yeah, you're allowed to vote just once every 24 hours. So why not on someone's birthday? You know, I mean, geez. Well, what more does he have to do for you? He is single-handedly carrying the Miami Heat this season.
Yeah, Bam's having a rough one.
Bam is indeed having a rough
8 points last night. Am I correct?
I think that's being generous. I think he may have had 6, if I'm not mistaken.
That's sad to say. He had 6. Yeah, I was being a little generous. So I apologize.
Unfortunate.
Give that man a little less credit. It was Jimmy Butler who had 8. That's your dynamic duo right there. Yeah. Bam and Jimmy combined for 14 points.
See, that's not my dynamic duo, though. Not anymore. Not anymore. I have moved on. I've moved on to KEL'EL WARE being the guy who's going to be. And you know what, though? Another quietly good game from Nikola Jovic, who has been really taking the reins. And I wouldn't go as far as Tobin when he said that Nikola is now taking the keys to the team. I'm not going to say necessarily that he's driving the Miami Heat, but I do think that these people that Spo has been hesitant to play are definitely going to be leading the Miami Heat out of this darkness. I feel, Nico, KEL'EL WARE, the youth movement is upon us in Miami. I'd like to, because then before you know it, knowing Spo the way that we know Spo, tomorrow or whenever they play again, it's going to be Kevin Love who's going to be in the starting lineup, and we won't sniff KEL'EL WARE for the next month. That is what we've been used to all season, but after seeing what performance they were able to put on in this last game against Wemby and the Spurs, how do you not just say, you know what, let's try this out a little bit, dude.
Yeah, you got to give it another run.
You got to give it another run.
Well, that's what Spo was saying after the game. He was saying, force me to play you. You have to force us to play you, and you're now forcing us to play you, leading all scorers and going out there and balling, and it worked well, and we played well. We'll see. And you get a good, and I mean, I hate to say it, a little softer of a landing again to do it against the Portland Trailblazers, possibly, who aren't the best team in the NBA, and you do it at home, maybe get a little bit more momentum, and then just keep things going.
Yeah, we got to hear from the big man yesterday following the game. We heard from him a little bit earlier in the show as he talked about teaming up with Bam Adebayo. This is him again yesterday post-game, KEL'EL WARE, on what it means defensively for him and Bam to play together.
I would say the upside is definitely where if say someone is trying to attack him to the basket, he wall up, I can come block it, or vice versa like that, and being able to switch how we did today. Like if pick and roll comes, the man comes off, he's going down at me, I'm just gonna stay down there, just switch that Bam, stay on the other man. So
makes it seem so easy.
A little tag team action right there.
Come on, dude. And he can move. He's not like a lumbering.
Oh no.
he's going to take a long time to get from point A to point B. The guy can move, man. The guy can move. And that is the development of the big man. The Wembys of the world, the Chet Holmgrens of the world. Like you're of course this big, tall, lanky defender, but you're also going to be needed because these big guys are shooting threes, man. These big guys are shooting threes, and it just seems like he fits into the game like a glove, dude. It really is like Jaime Jaquez. We drafted him, and it's like, all right, this guy was an NBA ready product, and he's doing his thing. He seems to be fitting into his role. Nico needed some time to kind of figure out what he does. A lot of these undrafted gems, you figure out what can they potentially contribute. But this guy is just a stud, bro. I haven't had a feeling like this in quite some time. This guy's a stud, bro.
Well, it is good on the defensive end. Let's say Bam's guarding you, 6'9", maybe an all defensive player. You want to maybe get a better matchup. You get a switch with KEL'EL WARE, who's 7 foot tall and big, broad, hard to get around. It's like pick your poison. What do you want right there? So it really kind of gives you a little more, I don't know, size, length, and just intensity on defense, as opposed to you're trying to get a switch and you want to get off Bam. You might get somebody shorter like Tyler Herro and say, okay, well maybe that's something more advantageous to me. But with that, it's like pick your poison. You got big guys everywhere, and then of course Spo will always scheme up some way to get some other defenses going and help side and zone. So it's exciting, man. It's exciting to see offensively and defensively, and it definitely worked out on both ends of the court last night.
Yeah, Spo mentioned it in one of the cuts that we played earlier. It's not only helping the big man in the defense, it's helping the guards as well. We saw Duncan Robinson yesterday have an amazing game. He's one who works well with Bam Adebayo, and now he has an opportunity to do the same thing with KEL'EL WARE. And when you have the length on the court and the ability for these big men to get out, it just kind of spreads things so that he's open for three. So was Terry Rozier. I saw Jaime drill some. Nico
nailed a bunch of them.
Yeah, so it kind of was a mixture of, yes, it was a good offensive game, but if you look back on it, no one had a ridiculously amazing game. Maybe KEL'EL WARE overplayed for a rookie, but if you look at his numbers, hit 25, 8 and 2. It's not like he had we see Joker get a triple double before halftime.
Mm-hmm.
And no one had this crazy miraculous game. They just played the Miami Heat brand of basketball that we've been trying to consistently nail, get it down packed for quite some time now, and it seems like we're inching closer and closer to that final product. We're also inching closer and closer to the final hour of the show. Maybe we'll get a potential sighting from Figgy. If not, no worries. You can catch her tomorrow and the rest of the week with the rest of the guys. In the meantime, it is Dan Day and myself holding things down on 560 WQAM. You stumped me again, Dan. What's this one? Kissy face. Okay, so this has to be recent. This isn't.
This is like a TikTok trend for sure.
Come on, Figgy. Jump in.
I don't know it.
Jump in, Figgy.
Who is this? This is. Who's the girl who said I'm all about that bass? No trouble.
It's not Megan Trainor. You're not going to get this.
Put it louder.
No, it's a K-pop artist by the name of Rose. Featuring
I was never going to get that.
I was saying you're not going to get it. It's a popular song.
All right.
Maybe in my world. Maybe not.
Maybe.
See, this is Bruno Mars.
It is Bruno Mars. Yeah. Bruno Mars doing Bruno Mars thing. I'm a fan of Bruno Mars. I think he's great. If I can watch him do the Super Bowl every year, I'll watch him do the Super Bowl every year. But no time for the Super Bowl. Time to say hello, Figgy.
Hello, guys. How you doing?
To some headlines. Figgy, were you able to watch any football games yesterday or anything from the weekend?
I was able to see, I think, the last quarter of Kansas City.
That was exciting. The block kick and everything.
What else did I see? I saw some basketball Friday, obviously.
All right.
You went to the game?
This weekend was just a blur for me. No, I did not go to the game. No.
Obviously, I figured.
Yeah, obviously, dude. Well, Jimmy's return. So maybe that's what you meant. That obviously she had to watch Jimmy's return.
You felt as though he was out there giving maximum effort, trying to put his team on his shoulders and
grade his
the team.
performance. What grade would you give Jimmy Butler's performance?
I don't really remember.
Dan, what would you grade Jimmy Butler's performance?
I'd give it
maybe like a B, right?
I was saying 88B, something like that.
80, that's a pretty good B.
Like a B plus.
He did have points.
He's facilitating.
I give him an 85B.
Okay,
he tried.
He did try, but not like really try. Like I know the difference.
He didn't go full Jim VP or anything like that, but he tried.
Correct. He was not amicable, but somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
So
I give his post game comments maybe a C.
Yeah, didn't like that. Was not a fan of that with the no comment.
I was okay with some of that. I didn't like. I love my teammates. I got problems with the organization. My teammates, some of them tapped in. I know y'all that didn't. Like, shut up, man.
What's up with that? He didn't. He was quoted that as saying after the game, "Don't think I didn't see." Talking about the ones who didn't like reach in with him. And I mean, if we had to put an investigation on, who do you think did not reach out to Jimmy Butler?
That's interesting because he and Tyler Herro, they were chumming it up in the pregame. Correct. They were having a great time.
Him and Tyler were definitely chummy. So was him and Kevin Love.
Oh yeah, he and KEL'EL were all over.
Kevin Love is veteran. Kevin Love kind of just seems like
Kevin Love just keeps on putting stuff on Instagram too. May I add?
Holy goodness!
He really.
I don't understand his rhyme or reason of Instagram, but
he's a social media savant as of now, and it has been very strange to say the least.
He has not lost any momentum for sure.
No, that's been interesting. But do you think Bam Adebayo? Because I mean, we were getting some sort of quotes from various individuals, a part of the Heat, that would say we had enough. Which is echoing the sentiment of Erik Spoelstra. So it's not necessarily confusing why they would say that, but it also could mean that maybe this whole Jimmy Butler thing has rubbed someone the wrong way. But I can find it hard to believe that if, for example, Josh Richardson had an issue with what Jimmy Butler was doing, it would even matter to Jimmy. So in order for him to say something like that, that to me means he is hurt by whomever did not reach out to him, which means they have to be important enough to him.
Because KEL'EL WARE probably doesn't even have Jimmy's number. He's a rookie. He knows his place. He's not going to tap in and say,
Nico was close with him as well. I saw them.
So they were joking around.
Well, so
maybe it's Terry Rozier. Maybe, I don't know.
It could be Terry, which it could be like Terry's kind of like, look, dude, I got here in the middle of last year. I don't know what the hell's going on. I barely saw you. You barely saw me.
That's true.
Why would I reach out?
Spend a lot of time on the court together at all because they've both been hurt.
I think the answer has to be Bam Adebayo, dude. Bam Adebayo has to be the one to not reach out because one, he's too engulfed in his romantic relationship. That is just
why do you gotta keep throwing that on him?
Because what
do you
is
really think he had not reached out? You're crazy.
He is captain.
Yeah, I do think so. I also think because he is captain,
Toting
he is the
line.
torch bearer of this entire situation, that there's a lot of responsibility on him to be that guy who kind of like is next in line.
Yeah,
and
you're
Jimmy
saying
Butler
two different things because you say that, then you also say that he's engulfed with his relationship. Pick a side, Marcos.
No, I think both of those are along the reasons as to why he didn't reach out.
You could have two wives, yes, of course.
He didn't reach out because he's just too involved in his romantic relationship and can't focus on playing basketball at an appropriate rate. And also because he is a torchbearer for the Miami Heat and decides that, like, hey, you know what, Jimmy, what you did wasn't cool. And if I'm the next guy in line, then I have to show everyone how you do it.
You definitely could see that where maybe Pat Riley goes to Bam and is like, hey, you're the captain of the team. You're the representation for this organization, at least on the court. And we need you to side with us because we need to have a unified kind of front with Jimmy Butler. So maybe that was one of those things like Bam maybe wanted to reach out. And I'm not saying he didn't, but if he maybe wanted to, but was like, all right, look, man, I got my boss breathing down my neck. I'm sorry, man. Like, we just let's just keep this thing at arm's length. It's a possibility.
At first, I thought it was Tyler, but then I saw them together, and I didn't think it was Tyler out of any sort of spite. I thought it was Tyler because Tyler Herro has dealt with his own fair share of trade rumors. So I thought maybe he's like, well, this year it's you. Last year it was me. It happens. And Tyler Herro kind of seems like the person who's kind of like too cool to respond. And again, it's not for any other reason. I'm like, I'm Tyler Herro. I'm just probably doing something cool. But no, it seems like they were cool. Yeah, you know what? Actually, how many people are in this party? Let's get more information on what they're.
I'll try to find out.
We need an exact location. Does he have space for us to join him? But yeah, I guess if I had to put my investigator hat on, I'm gonna go ahead and accuse Bam of being the one who didn't reach out, because I don't think anybody else who didn't reach out would garner a response from Jimmy Butler. Like, oh, I'm so sorry, Pella Larson didn't reach out.
I don't even think he gives his phone number to you until you're like second year on the team or something like that.
For sure. No, look, I'm the same way at the Improv. There's people who have been there since the day they open. I will not learn their name. I refuse to learn your name until like you prove that you're going to be here for longer. And then once you've hit my point of like, all right, now I could potentially learn your name, I just push the goalpost back. I'm like, well, no, you got to be here for 5 years then. 5 years before I learn your name.
It's funny. There's a family friend that we have that actually we're talking about it this weekend. A family friend that I've known since I was a child, and I still call her the wrong name till this very day.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
till this very day.
Do they even sound alike? Why do you say the wrong name?
So, I always say this person's name is Eileen, and it's not Eileen.
Oof. I get
similar?
Yeah, does it sound like
Eileen?
It's Amy? Is it?
Whoa.
Amy.
Wait, no. Man, no, wait, no, I don't know her name.
You actually don't even know.
I can understand mispronouncing someone's name, like slightly. Like, you know, like Michaela, calling her Michaeli or Michaela or something like that.
Yeah.
But, oh, man. Also, other thing, getting back to Jimmy Butler.
Yes.
Sometimes you got to be careful what you wish for. You just might get it saying, oh, there's truth out there. It's all going to become known.
Yeah.
Jimmy, we know things on you too, man. Like, you really want everything out. And it is starting to all come out where he didn't stay with the team. He travels separate from the team. There's some other things too. So Jimmy, you might want to just say, hey, look, you know, we got some issues because there might be some bad things the Heat are doing. There might also be some bad things that Jimmy's done in this whole situation.
I was listening to the Dwayne Wade cuts that were released last week, and we were reviewing them. And, you know, that kind of gave insight into the fact that this has been going on for quite some time. D Wade would comment on how he would hear of certain things occurring and feel like, when the hell did this happen? You know, kind of like you have that same situation of like if you have a sibling of some sort, or you hear about like the new generation, it's usually like back in my day, they used to beat us in school. You know, what do you mean they get away with X, Y, and Z nowadays? I believe that's what Dwayne Wade was alluding to when saying that Jimmy Butler essentially had been doing some of the shenanigans that are coming to light now for quite some time, and they've gone undisciplined. And now that this entire situation has happened, it kind of has awoken Pat Riley, and we're going to see the Pat Riley of old now.
Yeah, and I think Dwayne Wade has to walk that thin line because he introduced this couple. He introduced the Heat and Heat culture to Jimmy Butler. So he can't really take too many sides because he's on one side like Jimmy Butler's my guy, but at the same time, the Heat is my home. That's my organization, and I brought them together. So I can't start bashing either side because really they're both my people. I'm on both sides. So he said it's just a tragic situation, and it really is. It's tragic because it's been a really good run with Jimmy Butler and the Heat. It's sad that it has come to this, which seems really almost unfixable at this point because Jimmy's not going to budge, and Pat Riley's not going to budge. If he didn't budge for guys like LeBron James and everybody else, it's going to be tough, man. So Dwayne Wade's stuck in a tough spot.
Doesn't seem like he's going to budge at all. It seems like, unfortunately, this is coming to an end. And it is very reminiscent of another thing that unfortunately came to an abrupt end, but then not really. And that's TikTok, of course. We'll talk about the death of TikTok and much more when we come back on the Tobin I know this one too.
I know this one.
Wait, hold on.
I know.
Hold on.
Swerve.
You thought that was Harry Styles, wasn't it?
Harry Styles is a thief? Is that what you're telling me?
No. This is a cover.
Oh, this is a cover.
Yeah.
Okay. Harry Styles, you handsome son of a gun. You almost lost a fan. What would he do if he lost me as a fan?
He'd continue living his life.
Just one direction from there, you know? Downhill. Speaking of the Gen Zers and the millennials, I wouldn't even consider this a millennial app. This is definitely a Gen Z, Gen Xer. Guys, the biggest story, not sports related, this weekend. The death of TikTok.
Honestly, that was so annoying.
Gosh darn it, G. Williker, Batman, was it annoying? But maybe it's annoying because I personally am not one who is active on said platform.
Same.
I was going to say, are you guys on it? Like, I think I've seen, Dan post some stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm active on it to a point. Like, I will post some videos, and also if I get home at night, like late, because I'm usually working late, and I'm, I can't play loud music. I can't play that new Bad Bunny album.
Oh, Bad Bunny.
Or J Balvin. I'm going to see him at Kaseya Center.
Oh, my boy.
Look at you.
Yeah, what are you doing, Figgy? Huh? What are you up to? Huh? You don't live
What
a life
am I
like
up to? I don't. Dan has a very
you
interesting
wanna roll
life.
with Figgy? I got an extra ticket. I'm buying.
Ooh, nice.
For
No,
Jay.
outside of Kaseya Center. It's too expensive inside Kaseya Center.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah, he's buying
it
like
outside?
we'll go to local bars outside.
Or actually, I'm just gonna bring an ice chest in the back of my car and just have at it. Have whatever you want. No, I'll look at TikTok, and man, TikTok knows my algorithm, man. They know what I like to look at it.
Big booty. Big old booties.
A lot of dancing on the TikTok platform.
There were okay. So
Daniel.
I'm just saying, a lot of dancing.
A lot of dancing.
I'm not judging. It's so bad that I don't use this app. I don't even have an algorithm. It's just people that follow me. That's it.
For sure.
I don't know.
Instagram's kind of the same thing.
That's the thing that like I don't understand. Like I saw people posting like, this was one of my favorite TikToks, or this one, like, for example, when Vine ended.
I liked Vine. That was
Vine though was like at the a pivotal point in internet comedy, right? Because when the internet first started, I feel like, and not first started, I'm talking about like back then. I mean, when like the social
we got it. Yeah.
computers in your home first started, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was like, yo, watch this guy get his brain blown out. And it was crazy. There was no like monitoring. It was the wildest things that I think back of, like what I was seeing at a 6th or 7th grade. Like, why am I watching these crazy things on the internet? And then it began to go a little bit more like YouTube. The development of YouTube came out, and people are starting to use websites. You can do blogs now. Then the idea of social media came out.
I feel like you skipped out on a big one. Wasn't MySpace in middle school? No, wait, it was high school. I don't know.
Well, I mean, for us, yes. Originally, that was only allowed for college kids.
I think it was like 8th grade for
like
me, or 9th.
Yeah,
I don't know.
6th, 7th, 8th. It was around that time of like, all right, YouTube, MySpace, the internet's getting a little bit safer for the preteen, if you will. Then, as things begin to move forward, the development of Facebook, and we're finally understanding how this whole internet thing can connect everyone. But then the idea of a content creator or someone who actually makes videos to make you laugh kind of really didn't develop until Vine, to be honest. There was just a group of people who would, like, you would see them constantly in these 7-second clips and be like, I recognize him from that other 7-second clip. People like King Batch, or like, whomever you followed from Vine that is made their way over. But to me, when that went away, that kind of felt like, oh, Vine was different, something that was different, something I couldn't get anywhere else, and now it's gone.
Right.
TikTok,
I think you still can't get that.
Exactly.
It's just a different breed.
It's been yet to be replaced, that short form content. Yes, we have YouTube Shorts. Yes, we have Instagram Reels. But it kind of seemed like we were missing the idea of this at home accessibility. When we got to TikTok, everyone was like, I'm weird, and now these people are weird. Let's be weird together. That's kind of what I got. And also people like dancing. I don't know why people really just gravitated towards that dancing thing. But now that TikTok's gone, I saw people posting as if it was a person who died. I saw
that was crazy. There's so much bigger things happening in the world for this to be such a big headline.
California was on fire a week ago. Now you're telling me like I should be caring about this app that is totally, you can accomplish the same things on like every other app now. Like the only thing I would say is like TikTok brought a group of people that about like there's not necessarily just content creators, because it feels like on Instagram the only people who are making content are content creators. But on TikTok, you would find the random person who just gathered up the confidence to record themselves doing or saying something very stupid. And it was
which is cool, which is great.
Yeah, it was that community that everyone like enjoyed. But it's not like now that TikTok's gone, where am I gonna, where am I gonna find these people? Well, they all like still exist, dude. They're just using another app. It's fine.
But it's TikTok back now.
Yeah,
it's back.
Yeah. So that was another thing that everyone was like, damn, it's almost like telling everyone like, yo, I broke up with her.
Yeah.
We're done.
It was less than 24 hours of people being extremely dramatic over an app. Like your life did not end. It just changed a little bit. And
really slightly. Your flight wasn't canceled. You just got to go to a different gate. Yeah, it's really fine. I did see though that there are certain people who made millions off of this, off of TikTok, who created careers off of it. I personally know people who have, are now paying their bills with popularity that they gain on TikTok. But it's not the app itself that was what propelled you to success. It was, unless you got famous for something dumb on TikTok, which happens a lot. But usually it's the work ethic put behind it, the idea behind marketing, the product behind whatever it is. Now you're going to see, unfortunately, a large amount of untalented people who used to be on TikTok for like no reason. Now they're going to have to get jobs in the real world, and God bless them. But look at that. It's back. 24 hours later, it's back. So
not even. I believe it was like 12 or less.
Yeah, although certain things like CapCut, that's when they're like, nah, can't use that anymore.
At all? It's not back?
I don't know. Like from what I've heard, and this sucks because I have a friend who just like found out the wonders of CapCut and was like, this is going to make editing super efficient.
You want to know what's so sad? Anymore. I believe my Miami Heat Media Day videos. Yeah. I was editing them on CapCut. And I just never released it. I'm going to just start throwing things out there. I'm going to be TikTok famous. Watch.
There you go.
I'm going to use all my old videos.
Yes. There you go.
I'm going to throw them out there because they're just sitting on my phone,
Just pump the content out, JFig.
Don't think.
Throw it out.
Just hit.
It's very time consuming, and that's something I will give to them. It takes a lot of time. I don't like being on my phone for that long.
Dan, that's horrible advice. That is not
what did he say?
He said, don't think, just publish. Just if there's one thing I know, don't review any of it. Just publish it and get it out there. No, don't do that.
The worse of an idea it seems, the better it'll be for you.
I don't think that's accurate. No.
Now, what's the latest with this whole TikTok ban? Trump says he most likely will give a 90-day extension to avoid ban.
There you go.
There's people who have offered to purchase it. Elon Musk has offered to purchase it. Mr. Beast has offered to purchase it. I saw one of the sharks.
The Shark Tank guy, right?
The Shark Tank guy was going to purchase it for quite a lot of money.
Billions.
It's honestly one of the worldwide, one of the top apps and like most used apps in the world.
Yes, absolutely. It is really because, I mean, it is the youth. If you think about it, like there is a demographic of people that use Facebook. They're usually conspiracy theorists and old people. There's a demographic of people who use Instagram. It's usually narcissistic people and women.
Okay.
And thirsty men.
I'm so sorry. Wait, what?
I'm sorry. Narcissistic people, women, and
that use Instagram.
Yes, and thirsty.
Don't you post a lot on Instagram?
Absolutely, I'm the first one. So you're either a person who is talking about yourself, advertising yourself, or wants to post pictures because you want praise from someone, you fall under the narcissistic category. You're a woman and you like pictures and like tips and ideas and communicating with other women, and you feel safe within this space to do so. Or you're a thirsty man and you love all the thirst traps.
All the above.
That's all the above for Mr. Day.
Remember when Snapchat, I was literally told one time, Snapchat will make text messaging obsolete. Yeah. I was told that. I don't.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Snapchat now. If you have a Snapchat, you're hiding something, dude.
I don't know.
100%.
You are hiding something, or you're horny. You are horny. I am watching all of you.
Why are you on Snapchat? Huh?
Yeah, come on. Like honestly, why are you on Snapchat? That's like why do you have a Tinder? Well, what do you mean? Why do I have it? I know why you have a Tinder, sir. You're horny. You're up to no good. But there's a demographic of people who use various social media platforms. But I think the one that kind of took everyone by storm was this TikTok thing, because it got the young kids on it. The young kids aren't on Facebook. The young kids aren't on Instagram. And then it got the old people and the weirdos and then everyone who's curious. And then this whole 2020 pandemic, everyone got on TikTok around that time. So there was an event that occurred. Do you want me to? Okay. That's interesting.
I like the people that just do diatribes on TikTok. Like, hey, I'm here waiting to pick up somebody, and you know what's wrong with this country?
Exactly, right?
McDonald's doesn't give you enough sauce whenever you ask for sauce.
Well, listen here, brother. What's your TikTok? Because I will follow you. That is stuff that I am worried about. That is the things that I'm worried about. But whether or not TikTok survives, I don't care. I don't value any social media platform more than I do simply going outside and actually doing things. But I will say, whatever community people are searching for within TikTok, if you went outside and talked to people, you'd have a good time too. I promise. You'll be fine whether or not TikTok is alive. Just go talk to your local human. That's my advice for the day, everyone. Let TikTok die and let love win.
Marcos, please.
Just trying to spread the gospel here on the Tobin and Leroy show. When we come back, we will end Mondays the only way we know how to end Mondays, JFig. And what is that?
With the trivia?
You know what? Normally that would be the answer. That's my fault. Hey, you know what? Let me go ahead and say that's false start on me. Normally that is what I'd set you up for, trivia, because we haven't played any games today. Your boy's been a serious Sally.
I'm sad. This Elias house is pretty low today.
It was indeed. It's a sports filled Monday. I'm gonna be gone for a week. Wanted people to hear.
So you're not gonna be on air tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
You are a fraud.
Look at that. We got to go to break. I'm so sorry. We'll come back. It will be all right. Oh, no. On the top of the
You're no.
Yeah, this is serious NFL music. Like it. This is good stuff. Welcome back into Tobin and Leroy show. Final segment of the hour. Final segment here before Frog Boy heads on over to Baltimore. I'll be gone the rest of the week. Tobin and Leroy will be back tomorrow at full strength. JFig will be there. Catch all of us. Vlad will be in the producer seat. Happy birthday one more time to Vlad. Happy birthday.
All right.
Happy birthday to
I'm going to
Vladimir.
go ahead and start with my oh no. Usually we start with all right. There's something that I saw that I'm not sure if it was interpreted correctly. I'm still trying to figure this out, Dan. Did you catch when the Texans, I believe he's a corner, if I'm not mistaken, Chris Boyd, pushed his coach, right? Now, this comes following or in the middle of a very heated confrontation, obviously, between the Chiefs. The problem is a lot of people see that this special teams coach was pushed by Chris Boyd, and they see an aggressive act that, unfortunately, I feel may have been interpreted incorrectly. Of course, he was aggressive and angry. This was after a long kickoff return had been given up. He went ahead and expressed himself in a way that we saw Travis Kelce and Andy Reid kind of go back and forth at it. Travis Kelce was violently yelling at Andy Reid and was commended as being passionate for his actions. Other than me, I was the only one who called him out because, I have a vendetta against those bastards. When will they lose? But unfortunately, this was not met the same way, as Texans cornerback Chris Boyd has been sent numerous racist DMs following his confrontation of the special teams coach. Oh no! That gets my oh no. The minute that you begin to make it not about football is when you have crossed the line. Unfortunately, Chris was forced to release on his social media, on his Instagram, saying, this is just unfortunate to see. The world is wicked, but I'll be the example to still shine love and light no matter the circumstance. Adapt the ways of the Spirit in Christ, not the flesh. Now, another thing that he had mentioned was that this has been every second since last night up to today. Not looking for sincerity. God got me. As you can imagine, people are going to be upset, of course. But to send racist messages every second of the day, that's not going to solve anything, bro. His race has nothing to do with why he acted the way that he did. It was a passionate moment amongst football players. There should be no reason why Travis Kelce gets commended for being passionate and this guy gets racist DMs. For that, fans, whoever sent him those DMs, you get my oh no. Oh no! My all right. Very, very easily has to be KEL'EL WARE. All right. Bam Adebayo. Finally getting playing time together. Stubborn Spo all season. Look, I didn't want to say this, but JFig was calling Spo washed. I didn't want to say anything.
I'm so sorry. What words are you trying to put in my mouth? I never said any of that, okay?
No, I think you did. I'm almost positive.
No, I didn't.
I may be paraphrasing.
I want you to present some receipts because I never said anything like that.
That's right. I'll have the receipts tomorrow.
Yeah.
You just ask for the receipts and they will appear out of nowhere. But yeah, Spo all season has been a little know-it-all, thinking that he knows best, which he probably does because he is a basketball genius and much more credited than I am. But nonetheless, he finally gave us the opportunity we've been waiting on. And boy, oh boy, did it pay off. Potentially the lineup of the future. We have Tyler Herro, Jimmy Butler, Duncan Robinson, Bam at the 4, KEL'EL WARE at the 5. So with that being said, it's a new era for the Miami Heat. Spo finally loosening the leash. Gets my all right.
All right.
Figgy, what do you have for all right and oh no?
I actually want Dan to go first because mine's some
Dan?
serious business.
Serious business, Dan.
No problem. I'll follow your lead, but we'll first go with the oh no. Miami Hurricanes basketball in general. The women lost their 6th in a row this past weekend. The men lost their 7th in a row this past weekend.
Oh, no.
And they weren't very close. And the women lost to FSU rivalry. The men SMU. And I'm not even going to tell you the score because it's large. Things are not pretty when it comes to
have the
basketball.
Cavenders, right? We have the Cavenders still.
Yeah, it has not helped over that 6-game losing streak, but hopefully
we got a quarterback though.
Carson Beck.
That's rough. I love Canes basketball. Katie Meyer, and I know, unfortunately, our boy recently retired.
Well, Katie Meyer also retired. Well, she took a personnel job at the athletic program, so it's new coach.
So new coach for both the teams, and unfortunately, it's not something that we're used to, and it is not going well. It is not going well.
All right. All the birthdays on this January 20th. Celebrating Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday.
Yes.
Celebrating Tyler Herro's birthday.
On the 15th.
But today we're celebrating it.
Correct.
Martin Luther King, Tyler Herro. Can't forget about Liam Eichenberg.
I think we can forget about Liam Eichenberg. I don't want to put him in the same category.
And last but definitely not least, our very own Vladimir Louison celebrating his birthday. He will be here tomorrow. He's taking the day off. I gave him some flack for taking a day off, and then I realized it was his birthday, and I said, okay, you're
He
good.
deserves
You're
it. He
good.
works a lot.
So you're telling me Martin Luther King Day and his birthday wasn't enough to get the nod from Dan? That is rough. That is rough.
Stop
dude.
trying to stir the
That
pot.
is rough, Dan. It is never enough for Vlad to get a day off. Vlad, I love you, buddy, so much. You can work for me the rest of the week. How about that? How about that, dude? That is how much. Also, other notable birthdays. Rainn Wilson.
All right.
Yep.
Evan Peters.
Okay.
Yeah, we mentioned Stacey Dash earlier.
Yeah,
still
Stacey
got to show you Stacey Dash, man. Still got to show you. Crazy lady, but she's a looker. Figgy, please, let's get down to some serious business.
Well,
all right, enough of that. All right, guys.
This week, Marcos, be quiet, okay? This week we have the return of Team Lava, but this time it is 2.0. And that is my all rights, okay? We're gonna do it big this year, okay?
Please.
We got a new and improved team because my oh no goes to Marcos because first of all, how dare you miss out and be on vacation while your team is out here trying to go for the gold, okay?
Wow.
How dare
I wouldn't
you?
call
You
it a
have the audacity to miss
I wouldn't
out.
call it going for the gold either.
Yeah.
We're going for the gold, okay? You saw that trophy last year.
Are you this angry at Drew Smith for not being available? Because
Stop trying to throw him under the bus.
This is just egregious activity. If there's anything I would want to be present for, it would be Team Lava getting ready to redeem themselves. But this is what I'm hoping is going to happen. Team Lava has a successful, but not too successful, second run at this tournament. So that year 3, baby.
No, you're not going to be invited. You're not going to be invited because you missed out on this one, okay?
Right.
And I have some insight news. I think those bigs that were on the last year,
the 7-footers,
they will not
Whoa.
be taking the court.
That is right. We will no longer have any ringers because, geez, I felt
we
like
might have a chance.
We have a chance to potentially compete in a game. I'm not going to say we're going to win. But
Marcos, you cannot say we because you're not a part of it. So stop
I
it.
was so when
Stop
someone
it.
gets injured, then they're not a
Stop
part of the
it.
team. Oh,
No.
okay. This is
You have
rough.
to leave the team for a family or personal reason.
Right? Oh no, but apparently that's not good enough. That is not good enough. You know what?
Put your life on hold.
I am the lava. Well, it has been a wonderful. I want to give myself an all right for staying on clock too.
All right.
That is like, come on. That is, we've never been this on clock. But with that being said, Hawk and Crowder coming up next. I'm not sure who's there. I see Jimmy, I see Solana. I'm not sure who else is going to be a part of that entire debauchery. But at the very least, I want to thank you for listening while Dan Day held things down. Thank you, JFig, for working on a day that you could have been off. We will talk to you guys tomorrow.